It's Saturday night. I hope you all are doing well. I myself am doing well. It was a fine day. We're in the midsummer here. Everything's good. Garden looking good. I made something tonight, first time ever today, and ate it tonight. I grew San Marzano tomatoes in the garden, and I made fresh tomato sauce. And I will say this, definitely doesn't taste like the stuff that comes from a jar. Very good, very fresh tasting. Was it worth the 4 hours of slow simmering? Probably, because I could never eat all the tomatoes that I'm getting. So honestly, yeah, it was worth it, and it was awesome. How's my sound, Last Dance? Good. Sound is good. I am not watching that, John, but I'd be happy to feature any streams or any live streams or whatever. Give me someone to look up. Let's just look up UK riots and the latest or top. Oh yeah, things are popping off over there, man. Sorry for you guys. I know it must be stressful. Based is live right now. Hi, Lee. All right. I'm going to see if I can find Based on YouTube. And maybe I can screen share some of his stuff. Yeah, Welshman is definitely something's going on there. Wow. Thanks, buddy. RW, good to see you. Let me give my hellos. Last Dance, I think I acknowledged you already, but hello. Just Steve-O, John Nicholson, RW, my man, Lee. Everybody, welcome. Yeah, sorry for you guys in the UK. That must be a bit stressful. Based Welshman will probably not be joining us tonight, although maybe a little bit later he might pop on for a relaxing cigarette after he's done. Yeah, it's true, RW. I often eat big salads or cucumbers and stuff like that, but I've never really incorporated the garden into a meal. I really wish I had grown onions, because I have everything else for salsa, including habaneros, and they look fabulous. Okay, cool, Liam. I'm glad to hear that, man, that you're not stressed. From what I've seen, it seems like people of all denominations are rioting on both sides. Maybe are they rioting against each other? Are they rioting against the government collectively, or both? Possible to say. I can hear Welsh on here. Oh, let's go back here. Yeah, you said a dumpster fire. It's literally a dumpster on fire, not the expression of a dumpster fire. I don't think Welshman could see comments of the people who are in his chat. So I'm not even going to. Oh, Jesus. Somebody's got a spear or something. God almighty. All right. Keep that on in the background. Scum TV, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, my man. I haven't seen you lately on the interwebs, but hopefully you are well up yonder in with Nanook of the North and your Nookers. And I hope life's good for you, Scum. You seem like a good guy. If we were neighbors, I'm sure we'd smoke and drink together, dude. I mean, after all, I do drink cheap beer and smoke copious amounts of stuff. So, had a banner day out on the boat yesterday. Caught a lot of fish, a lot of bait, catching the live mackerel, put them on the hook, send them back down, and a guitar jam. Hell yeah, dude. Send it back down to catch the big ones. So it was epic. We actually had to outrun a thunderstorm on the water, which I've never had to do before. The steel workers, man, hell yeah. My cousin, who's a lot older than me, since passed on, was an iron worker, union man, one of the great people, formative people of my life. He was a lifelong iron worker. So I have the utmost respect for that trade. Rest in peace. Having a little Cabernet Sauvignon here in a cocktail glass, which is always how I drink my wine. Never have to have a fucking giant stem, this thing that's standing this tall off the desk. I mean, you guys know me. Smash Fest. Gonzo. So, long ago, I watched a documentary about French wine and winemakers and the workers at a winery in Bordeaux. And for lunch, they had like rabbit with vegetables and wine. And they all had their wine in cups like this. So I figured if it's good enough for the winemakers, then it's good enough for me. And I'm down, Cool. Right on, buddy. Wow. No kidding, John. John Grammaticus. Breaking news. Thanks, John. No kidding, huh? Wow. That sounds serious. I'm uneducated about this, so I really want some of my UK buddies to come on here and educate me and anybody else who would like some knowledge about this. John, feel free to add more to the chat here. What are the issues that people are angered about? What are the riots happening as a result of? Because I know there's multiple things going on there right now, including and not limited to the stabbing of small children, murder with knives earlier this week by what I'm seeming to understand is a 17-year-old from Wales, Cardiff, in fact. But here's the thing. I don't know if he was from there or a British citizen. I don't know enough of the details about that. But again, okay, cool, buddy. RW. Don't know who that person is, but if you vet him, I will let him join. You vet, I let. Okay, yeah. See, John, a lot of people are saying he was from Wales. He's a British citizen. Thanks, Lee. So he had attained British citizenship. Is that much correct, Lee or John or anybody else? And how hard is that? Is it like as difficult as it is here in the United States? I don't know. But a lot of the news I've heard is he's a British citizen from Wales, Cardiff, or something like that. I don't know if that's just the spin of it or what. This microphone placed properly. You know, it's like you are where you are from the policies that have been in existence for a fairly long period of time. Things aren't going to change because of violence. Things are going to change because I don't know how, but sheer violence is not the answer, in my opinion. But if you don't have any other means of expression, I can certainly empathize with the fact that people feel this way. I'm not educated enough in this subject to really go into it, but it's crazy, you know. His parents came with him. Okay. Yeah, I just can't go into looking it up right now when I'm talking to you guys. It's too distracting. I end up sitting here in silence. Damn, I got all kinds of guffs and whatnot from fishing yesterday. Soreness. Cool. Okay, Lee. All right, buddy. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Yeah, and like I said, if we can get any of you Brits on here at some point, Paka, you can come on whenever you're ready, or whenever I get this thing going. No rush. I usually just blabber for 20 minutes to a half hour and then get this going. I think I'll play some electric guitar today. Got to change the strings on the old acoustic. She's sounding a little muted. But it's always an option. Always an option as well. Okay, John. Yeah, I think I follow you, man. Cool. Yeah, well, we're going to get some education from the British side here. And honestly, I don't know if it's really in the news here as much as it is there. You know, like here, there's a lot more coverage about Israel and, of course, Iran, Lebanon, all of that whole situation, Gaza. I'm not hearing a lot here in the national news, the mainstream media about UK. Is that your dude? Yeah, tea lover. Nice name. I like it. All right. I want to go ahead and just put this guy on solo to start and see what he has to say. Hello, tea lover. How are you?
Hello there. I'm all right. Yourself?
Good, thank you. Good. So can you give us a summary of the situation and its cause?
Yes. So I'm not the most knowledgeable on it due to the fact I don't see the news often all that much. However, basically, I think it can be best summed up as a series of unfortunate events. Um, Mainly beginning with what you call it? Yeah, mainly recently beginning with a lot of kind of the issues with our election results. Some of them to do with a party known as Reform UK, set up by Nigel Farage after his like Brexit party, um, led kind of led to the UK leaving Brexit, and then later on he kind of didn't have an objective for the party, so created Reform UK. Now, Reform UK is a right-wing libertarian-esque party in which they wanted to have more free markets, etc., but they also take a hardline stance on reducing immigration, and they have the stop the boats kind of rhetoric, which is like build the wall in America. And so anyway, they generally try to appeal to the lower, like lower end of the middle class to working class, underclass groups, right? And basically, what's happened here is that there's been recently there was riots with social services in Leeds due to just kind of general mistreatment of children. And this caused like a massive riot because it was Romani gypsies and Romanians that ended up going out and they ended up protesting. However, the way it's twisted in the media from the likes of Tommy Robinson, and what's his name, and Nigel Farage and members of the BNP or the British National Party, was that it was essentially like Muslims, and it was all these kinds of people. And that it was all like, well, it is immigrants, but it's to do with Muslims, etc. But it wasn't. And so it's like a lot of like anti like Islamist kind of rhetoric being thrown around. And the easiest way to get to the British population at this point in time is very clearly through the medium of like through the medium of like religion. And so they're making out that it's all to do with Muslims, etc. In Southgate, there was a guy who was stabbed. Sorry, not a guy. There was kids that were stabbed by a where was he from? I can't remember exactly where he's from, but he's from somewhere in Africa, and it was turned out he was a Christian. However, immediately news sources and these politicians and like social figures started making out that he was a Muslim, etc. And then they started going out protesting, trying to attack and break down mosques, burn them down. Rwanda, exactly. And it's just right now just a massive, shit show. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like people are letting out anger about things that have been built up for years and years, different policies regarding immigration, and it's all coming out now. Included in that, there seems to be some misunderstanding and misinformation involved, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're saying, some people are saying Muslim, but the kid is Christian. Is that verified for sure?
Yep. We also know that he was. So in the UK, we have a channel called the BBC, or the British Broadcasting Corporation, or a company. And there was an advertisement shown for Doctor Who, and he was in it. So we have verified the identity. And we know who this is. So yeah. And hang on, you're missing the point. Not to do with the Muslim. Not to do with Muslim.
Jump on here, Lee.
There is a massive issue in the UK for immigration. However, a lot of it and a lot of the riling up in these riots are coming from the misinformation that is being spread. Hence the reason why mosques are being attacked. And like a lot of the refugee centers, etc. It's not to do with like obviously there is a big clash in like culture, etc. But ultimately, I believe we should be focusing our issues, our issues and anger towards the government, not the people, not the everyday person. I saw a video of a Pakistani man walking down the street, and he got clobbered just for no reason. He was just walking, trying to get home, and that's kind of the things that are happening. There are people, like, for example, after the Southport stabbing, there was a vigil being held for kids. A bunch of men showed up, waiting for the vigil to end, supposedly carrying beer, and one of them was caught with a knife. However, they made out that it was supposedly another Asian man, who was supposed to be holding a knife, but no, it was a known right-wing protester. I'm right-wing myself, however, these guys are causing issues. So yeah, and it's local men. I'm not saying that they came from outside. I'm just saying that they came to the vigil. Some say that they came from outside from Southport to protest. I don't know the specifics.
a fellow countryman, Mr. Paka. How are you?
Hello there. I'm all good.
Hello
How
there.
are you?
Good, good.
Yeah, I take slight issue with a couple of things that he said. There was significant rumours and pictures online of a man coming from the local mosque that got attacked with a knife who got arrested by the police. He was on his way to the vigil. That's the story that's out there.
I haven't seen absolutely everything. I haven't seen it like much.
No.
All I
There's
know
like
is
the rumours, like the media's reporting that the men that arrived after the vigil weren't local, but I've seen footage. There is footage online of the men telling media that they're dirty smear merchants and basically to go away in no uncertain terms, and they're all doing it with very strong Liverpool accents, which is where that incident took place.
Mhm.
So that's also a lie. And
Yeah.
as far as what's happening is, I think generally there's a large part of the British public that are sick of the government not listening to them, and that would be the white British people.
Hmm.
When other, as you mentioned, the riots in Leeds, the police ran away.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't
I mean, to be honest,
they?
they're
And
not
left
going
them
to
to it. They left
then
them in
the-
charge of that portion of the city for about 4 or 5 hours and did nothing. Stood back.
They shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, though, the
and the
unarmed
right-wing
police aren't going to
protest
stand
that
there and
took
get
place,
tired.
the right-wing protest. There's film of the police sergeant telling his policemen to go in there and arrest anyone at random, which they then did, and then reported the next day 100 people arrested at far-right rallies, at far-right protest. They were arrested at random. A 75-year-old woman who was never been arrested in her life got arrested.
Get her.
Well,
No.
she was easy to catch.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a complete media circus.
Now,
Last
And-
chance.
I'm listening, and it sounds like to me, I can't quite understand what's going on. It sounds like different groups with different issues, different complaints. It's not
It
all.
is. It
Mhm.
is. But the one group's complaint is when they complain, along comes the full force of the law in riot gear to arrest them at random before they've even done anything.
So the
Failing that, kettle them until they do something and then arrest them.
Right.
there's
So you're
others-
saying
there's a
Others
belief that the
march through the capital city week after week, waving their flags, screaming anti-Semitic things. Nothing.
okay. Who's now? I'm looking
Others
at
Well,
can take over their
there's-
cities and burn
there's a-
cars and burn.
yeah.
police
I'm going to
vans
say
and nothing.
I'm looking at Based Welshman's feed, and there's looting and burning now. Who's
Yeah,
that?
there's a slight difference though, right? So there's a slight difference between saying an anti-Semitic thing and walking through a town with a flag or a city with a flag, right? Versus going and attacking and dismantling walls of mosques, etc. You know, there's
Okay,
a
and
bit of an
Did you hear about
escalation there.
Southend?
Hmm?
Did you hear about Southend? There were youths of a certain minority running around Southend last weekend, charging at each other with machetes in the street.
Yeah,
People were panicking and running.
yeah.
Any riot police anywhere?
No, and they
Two
should have
coppers
been there.
filmed standing watching them, doing nothing.
Well,
Again,
mean,
it would seem that only one demographic is under the rule of law in this country.
Well, I would say that if you have two coppers standing there, we know that police in the UK are to be unarmed, right? What are they going to do when there's a bunch of kids running around with like machetes? They're not going to be able to do anything because they can't actually get involved. Because something they do, they get stabbed themselves.
Call for
So
backup.
they're going to
Get the
call for
tasers
backup.
out.
I know
like-
what the U.S. police would do if someone's running around with machetes.
you know,
shoot them.
That's right. Got a machete, you get shot.
well, yeah. I mean,
Shoddy.
if you have a machete and you're threatening people
Right.
with grievous bodily harm or murder, then that makes you, one who can be, or in my opinion, should be shot.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make any sense in a country to say you can't carry a knife. That's not allowed. But then if you do carry a really big one, well, we're not going to fuck with you. That's okay too. It's like they've got to put their money where their mouth is. If they're going to
That ain't
outlaw
a no.
knives,
I agree, and they need to crack down more so. They actually need to be able to have like armed police officers, and they need to stop all this like knife crime. They actually need to crack down and put their foot down on this stuff because they do allow it to happen. As much as we like to point our fingers at minorities, we also have to understand that there are also like white kids are doing it as well. So yeah. And Smokesteve wife, I'm 19 years of age. I can grab my ID wherever it is, or ID or passport.
no, you don't need it. You're fine.
But yeah. So the issues we have in the UK are pretty much just down to our government's inability to pretty much do anything correctly, really. I would
They're
say
doing
that's
everything they want to do exactly as they want to do it. There's nothing incorrect about it.
I'd say it's
They could-
incorrect. I'd say it's like incorrect in the sense that it well yeah hang on I'd say it's incorrect in the sense that it isn't I don't know it isn't effective. It's effective in their plan. However, if we want a peaceful, cohesive society, it's doing the exact opposite. It's what do you call it? It's creating division, divide, and allowing violence to occur. And then they're either going to use this as a means to harvest, sorry, not harvest, but as a way to like harvest votes for more fringe political parties and try and pitch pitch people against one another. Or it allows them to then get a more authoritarian grasp on the country because it's unruly now, therefore we must deploy police, etc.
And
They allow it.
how are you suggesting we go about combating that? We all stand together against the government.
I think people should stand against the government. Don't attack mosques, etc. Don't attack the average foreigner that's just existing within the country, because I definitely say it's not the average foreigner doing any of this. I would say it's a select few that are acting unruly, and we go and take the fight to the government rather than to local businesses, etc.
Well, I agree with that. I mean, it basically the government is leaving the country wide open and letting in rapists and murderers who are then raping and murdering. And
Trying to be like America.
and the British people are not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
But they refuse to listen to us.
Yeah,
they ignore us. There are a certain number of white British people who've been talking about this for 30 years, and they were laughed at, and then they were called conspiracy theorists and liars. And now the wider public, all they were saying is multiculturalism doesn't work. It's not going to work. And last summer, India and Pakistan had a cricket match, and one side lost. And for a fortnight in Leicester, there were riots over a cricket match between India and Pakistan. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it sure is.
There is a reason that India and Pakistan exist. There's a very good reason for that. But, or they can all live together in Leicester. Shut up.
I mean, we have the ocean to separate us from what you guys with, the rafts or whatever. We have our own issue here from the southern border. It's a similar thing. We had a policy in place that stopped them from coming. It was returned to Mexico. I think Trump started it. Or Wait in Mexico, whatever the hell it was called. Then Biden came in, ended it. Then they put together this whole thing, and then the Republicans shot it down. And then Biden ended did a whole immigration thing on his own, but it is very political. What that turned out to be was that so many millions of people got in. The state I live in, unfortunately, is considered a sanctuary state, and the state budget was just worked out for the upcoming fiscal year at about $56 billion, with an allotment of $1 billion going to illegal migrants to house them, feed them, and do their laundry. amongst other things. But that's almost 2% of the state budget here. I mean, can you fucking believe that? Like, this is kind of like my state is what your country is like, and you're letting these people in, and you're paying taxes, and the leaders are taking your tax money and giving it to foreign people, even if it's only you say 2%, 2% of $56 billion. Yeah, it's about $1 billion, and that's it's just insane, dude. It pisses me off so much, and I do love this.
They've just announced, our new government have just announced that they're going to limit the number of elderly that can access the winter payment benefit to keep warm in the winter.
It's good timing.
Yeah, but we are going to keep, tens of thousands of illegal immigrants warm and fed in hotels at the same time, simultaneously. We'll be doing that.
Only.
We'll be paying for that.
Right.
But our elderly.
Well, here's what I never quite get. You have a democracy. You have a parliamentary democracy. You elect local representatives.
Yep.
How is it that it seems like your interests aren't on the mind of the government? How does that? Who is it that's for all this unchecked immigration?
Over time, it can get corrupted, and it has. It's as corrupt as yours. Our politicians don't listen to us. Our politicians are straight from the same place as yours.
Well, here's what I would say.
They're globalists.
I understand corruption. Someone with a big pile of money says, "Here, politician, do what I want." There is no constituency for immigrants coming from shithole countries. There's nobody who wants them here, or are there? Are these?
Yeah, you got to figure out who's benefiting.
Is this businessmen who want cheap labor? I mean, who is supporting this? Is it anybody? Is it the left who feels sorry for these people? I mean, I don't know where the support is.
The only thing that makes sense is that politicians are making a lot of money as fast as possible, and then they're going to flee the ship to another country when it all goes to hell. They're not invested. That's the only thing that makes sense. Otherwise,
how do they make money off of immigration?
They get a friend they went to school with to set up a company that deals with security, and then they put that company in charge of all the hotels that they put the immigrants in, and therefore the government pays that company, their friend that they went to school with.
That's right. And
then when that government official leaves government, when he retires, he joins the board of directors at that company.
Yeah, here in Mass.
That's just like here.
How does it work in America?
Well,
exactly
here,
the same way.
In Massachusetts, all those migrants that are coming we're accepting into my sanctuary state, to feed each one of them is $67 a day. Now you times that by hundreds of thousands of people and months and months and months, and the millions add up pretty goddamn quick, man. And then they also get a laundry service and dry cleaning and
what about home?
A legitimate roof over their head. They're not made to sleep outside.
Is that under the $67 a day, or is that just the food?
No, 67 is just the food, man.
Yeah, so they're not giving you a realistic number even.
No, you could probably get all of that information. That's just one of the numbers that always stuck in my head. And you start adding all the numbers of people that are here together. They had half of Logan Airport full of migrant families. The Department of Transportation had to say, get these people out of here. We're trying to run an airport. And they're fucking sleeping all over the place in the corners and shit.
I haven't actually what's called like an interesting experience. So I no longer live in the UK. I live in the Republic of Ireland. And there now is I live in a very remote place. Now we have literally maybe I want to say 200-300 200-300 meters away from me. There is a refugee center set up right in a hotel. Now, no, this is definitely like an anecdote. For example, this is definitely an anecdote. But we have Muslims there. We have Muslims like Bangladeshi Christians. We have a bunch of like an interesting mix. Buddhists, and then we have like some Eastern Europeans, and we have an American family. Now, the interesting thing I've noticed is that we've not actually we see them, they interact with us, we're nice, we're amicable, everybody's amicable, even though it's rural Ireland. I thought there would be a lot more like what's it called? Friction.
Oh,
Yeah, no, there's loads of sheep. Don't worry about that.
yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot more. Like I thought there would be a lot more friction. There was definitely friction for their arrival, but once they kind of got here, everybody kind of was like, okay, they don't really do much. They don't really argue, etc. They don't get in. They don't stand in our way. We don't, they don't stand on our toes. We don't do the same to them. Everything's fine. However, the one family that is there that has stepped on everybody's toes, has caused issues, is an American family. I have no idea how the fuck they got refugee status. You guys aren't going through any form of civil war. That I don't know what they're seeking refuge from. But their son, or rather daughter, according to them, who's about 4 years old, is facing bigotry in the local school and harassment from parents, and they deserve a lot more money and rights than the other refugees, etc. And they walk around like with these politicized shirts about like BLM and trans rights, etc. And that's all they're screaming about. However, the people that fundamentally disagree with everything about like Irish and Western culture in general, the Muslims, they're just silent. They don't say a thing. They don't talk about it. They don't do anything about it. They don't eat pork. They don't drink wine. They don't make a big hoo-ha about it that everywhere sells it. They're just nice to be with. I've made friends with a couple of them. I mean, I myself, this might surprise you guys. I'm a Muslim, but I was not a Muslim before their. Sorry, I was a Muslim before their arrival, but not during their stay. And I had nothing to do with them. They didn't know that. However, the out of any of the groups that I've come across in Ireland, because I myself am English, so I've always faced a lot of backlash just for my nationality. They were just immediately accepting, and I found that quite nice. But we do also have an issue with immigration in Ireland. I'd say even more so than the UK. For example, Ukrainians, etc. And we took on, I think, per capita, we took on the most amount of Ukrainians for our population size, and we've also given them, I believe, the most amount of benefits out of every country, proportionally to our size.
Might not keep that up for long.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. We definitely have issues like those stabbings, and that was Dublin got shut down because there was a mass amount of riots due to a crazy guy going out and stabbing a bunch of people. But yeah,
what is the issue tonight that ignited the fuse that's causing all of the elevated situation happening in London? Or
I would have said. I don't know whether Paco agree with me, but I think the most recent one, the Southport stabbing, which was just of a bunch of kids. I think it's I believe 2 or 3 died and 9 were injured.
But how long ago was that? That was like a week, right?
No, that was 3 days ago, maybe.
Yeah, within the last week, easily.
There must have been something that happened today. There's no way that was just like random.
No, these protests have been happening, and they've been organized. Tommy Robinson and his group have been organizing protests for a while now. And the recent ones, like the recent event, I think sparked these protests even more. And these protests are now fully scheduled, and there's a big turnout for them. And so these big riots are coming as a circumstance of that, or as a. We can't hear you, my friend.
You're muted, dude.
Who's talking about me?
Yeah, sorry, T Lover. Did you watch the film that he showed?
The film.
Yeah, Tommy Robinson at that big rally in London that you was just talking about. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen the film.
Didn't. Have you watched? Do you watch him at all?
Gooner.
I tend not to. No.
Right. I suggest otherwise. At very least, to know your enemy. Then you can decipher what your enemy is saying and what the media is saying your enemy is saying.
What is he saying, Pekka? If you saw that film, what is he saying?
Tommy Robinson was basically there was a kid in a school who was filmed being bullied by another kid. Those kids were two different colours, and if the colours had been the other way around, the story would have been a big nothing, but they weren't. So the story blew up. Tommy Robinson is, by his trade, he says, an investigative journalist. He investigated the story and found that the kid who appeared to be bullied was the opposite. He went around the local village, the school, and everything, and interviewed people, filmed it. He was then accused of reporting lies and taken to court. He went to court to defend himself, and then nobody in the town would back him. Everybody seemed to have signed non-disclosure agreements.
So the video has no value in court.
Yeah, but he played it. But
wasn't-
T-Lover didn't see it. You know what I mean, people that, I mean, honestly, someone at work said to me just last week that Donald Trump told people to drink bleach.
What flavor?
Yeah, exactly.
Strawberry.
Yum.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It just like.
Okay,
know,
I've heard of that video. I didn't.
Some people think that ivermectin is just horse medicine.
I've heard of that video and I haven't watched it. However, I swear the reason why he hang on, he's I swear that
Don't
there's
get
a
me wrong, chap. I don't like Tommy Robinson, right? But even if you don't like someone, not everything they say necessarily is untrue.
I know, I
wrong.
agree. However, I believe for that particular video, did he not lose a court case on it?
Yes, because when he went to court with his evidence, none of it could be corroborated because no one could appear in court because they'd already signed non-disclosure agreements. So he had no one on his side. It's his story.
That a little bit more.
That's what he said. Watch his film.
Okay.
Watch his film, and then go back to what the media told you happened.
When it comes to, I understand. Like, I'm definitely not the biggest fan of our media, etc. Like, for example, the shit that's going on with like Iran at the moment. I don't think Iran has nuclears. I think it's just I think it's rather convenient that Biden's coming towards the end of his presidency, and the whole shit we're going on like Israel, Palestine. I think it's very convenient that all of a sudden Iran has nuclears, and that he's going to be out soon, and the tensions are rising. I don't know. There's a lot going on in world politics that I'm very, very skeptical of, and the portrayal by Western media and Eastern media as well. I think like media is just a massive shit show, really. There's the two sides, and then there's the truth. So yeah.
Lee, do you have any thoughts, dude?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
The mic's working. Yeah, cool.
Pretty
yeah,
good.
well, my take on it really is that apart from all the rioting that's happening across
and shame.
the
I'm
country.
not out here to put people's face.
Yep. Sorry, just experimenting.
That's
Go
cool. That's cool. Yeah, as I said in the comments before, it's so much deeper than that, and it's been a build-up for many years. When you look at the actual politics of it, I think Farage touched on the point that, and quite rightly, as somebody just said, you might not always agree with somebody, but there are truths. When you look from just after World War II, there was immigration into the country and was needed for certain services, but it was a steady amount where people had jobs to do, taxes to pay, and everything was relatively okay. What's the biggest problem now over the last few years is that you're not just getting migrants coming in that are willing to do jobs and work. You're getting migrants coming in that we don't know who they are. There's no identity. They are, whether we like it or not, for all the people who go, oh, you're wrong. 60 to 70% of them are young males that have got no prospects here, no jobs, and they are therefore either thieving or they're causing trouble in the local communities, and they are. And we're housing them. We're giving them everything that they could possibly want. The political side of it is this, that there is an issue in the UK with the cost of living. So people are getting very bitter that they're finding it very hard to put food on the table, pay the heating and electricity and water bills, and yet you've got millions of pounds being spent on people that are coming in and getting it all for free. So that's creating a lot of bitterness. You're also then in a position that where these people have got to be housed eventually, they can't just stay in hotels, then the housing market gets driven up. And then you've got the indigenous population, young people, which my daughter will be part of that demographic in a few years' time, where they can't buy a house. They're living with their parents until their late 20s, early 30s, because there's just no way of doing it. So the cost of living is being pushed. Everything is getting pushed. Our lifestyle, you know, in terms of working, at least having something to enjoy yourself with, is becoming non-existent. So people are getting to the end of their tether with it all. And the boats that are coming over on a daily basis are just winding people up even more. And I don't know if you touched on it, but you know, our premier at the moment has really, that party I think's got in by default. There was nowhere else really to vote for, and
They got less votes than Corbyn.
He's had no plan to sort out the boats and deal with this migration that's coming in. And then when you get an incident where young kids get stabbed, obviously that's the spark that then lights the fire. So it's not just about people rioting and this, that, and the other. It's been building for years. This, it really has. And you know, the slogan for everybody is enough is enough. Now I get really peed off with the fact that people turn around and go, oh, they're far right, fascists, this, that, and the other. Majority of the you're always going to get some people that want to cause a fight and cause a riot or whatever, but the majority of people want to be seen, you know, standing up and saying, we've had enough to the government, do something about it. And the very interesting thing, and I'll just finish off one very interesting article I read this week. I thought, God, it's so true. For all the people that denounce rioting, and you know, breaking shops and this, that, and the other, when you look through history, the world moves on for the better generally because people will riot. I mean, even if you go to the women rioting in this country that wanted the vote, they changed the world for better. Probably black people in America rioting when they did, was it back in the 60s or whatever, or late 50s, I can't remember. They changed the world for better. So sometimes it takes people to get to the point where they riot and change the world. You know, all riots and stuff, that aren't always bad, but it's certainly a message to the government that we can't, you know, we just can't do it anymore.
There is a fair few people writing in England shirts with a Stella in their hand.
Oh yeah, I get that, and there you'll always have that group because they just take advantage that they enjoy violence, they enjoy being anti-system.
It's almost like football hooliganism.
Yeah, but when you watched the Tommy Robinson protest in London, there were thousands upon thousands of people that just wanted to be there to show the government that they have had enough of the situation and they want them to sort it out. And the weirdest thing of all is that the UK doesn't seem to have any plan to deal with it. They don't know what to do. It's quite obvious from my point of view. It's easy; you could easily solve it, but yeah, they just won't.
They don't want to.
No, and you've also got Keir Starmer, remember, who is more aligned with Europe than the Conservatives were, because the Conservatives that were in were Brexit, and Keir Starmer's trying to shimmy up to them, thinking, you know, this could be, we're not going to rejoin, but we certainly want to do things where we have a better relationship with them, and therefore not letting people in is going to upset Europe. So he's trying to please them. But the most awful thing that happened this week, which I think was absolutely where he's lost the faith of the people. He's only been Prime Minister a few weeks, if a couple of months, is when he does a live broadcast to the nation, and not once did he mention the children that had been killed and why everybody's upset. Instead, his message was that no Muslim family or child will feel unsafe in this country because we will protect them. Well, at that point, Mr. Starmer, why weren't you also mentioning no Christian children that are going to also be killed and be protected? And everybody lost their plot when he turned around and said all Muslims will be protected and all their children will be.
His exact words were, he will do everything to protect Muslims.
Yeah,
that was his.
Was it not implied though?
Over 3 white girls being killed.
But if
Well,
Ireland is a
some
Christian
mad
nation,
dude with
wouldn't
a
it be
knife.
implied?
Hey?
I'm sure as a good leader, he went and at least visited the school,
Yeah, but he
the
was-
family,
he
the
was-
And he got abused for his trouble.
Yeah.
He got verbal abuse for his trouble.
Well, you see, that's the thing, though, is that he says he will make sure that no Muslim, what do you call it? No Muslim family will feel unsafe. I mean, especially with like the misinformation that came from like the Leeds riots and that, it's sending a message out that, you know, no matter what, that families are going to remain safe, and even if they're wrongly accused, they're also going to be safe. And yes, that shouldn't have been. I'm sure that wasn't the focal point or the focus point of his address to the nation.
It certainly was. I think you need to watch it, because if you also look at the questions that were posed to him from the hand-picked press, every question was virtually the same, and a lot of it touched on Muslims. So I suggest, T-Lover, not
There
being
were other
horrible,
things like
please go and watch it.
when white people riot, obviously they're far right thugs and need to be dealt with the full force of the law immediately. We must bring in things like facial recognition so we can stop these people even leaving their towns.
Well, when all people riot, white, black,
not run
or
away like they did in
otherwise.
Leeds the week before.
Well,
Hang on,
when
what happened
anybody, when
Leeds was
anybody,
Romanians. That was Romanians.
hold on, when anybody riots,
I'll tell you who it wasn't. It wasn't.
when
indigenous
anybody
people,
riots,
was it?
they need to be prosecuted for breaking the law. There should be no variation in levels of prosecution that are dealt with. You know, like
I
black,
would be cool with
white.
that.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. They all are breaking the law. They should all be fucked over for it, because rioting is fucking stupid.
Steve, that's a really good point. And some of the chanting that's coming from the crowd, real direct accusations to the police, which are true, because we've seen plenty of videos that it's a two-tier policing system. So you've got Palestinian protesters in London and other cities walking down the street. Once again, going back to random goon situation, most of them are peaceful, but you've got a small group that are saying death to white people and death to the West. So you've got your radicals within those protests, and the police do nothing. And like we were saying about Leeds, the police run away. You get a protest of people walking down the road carrying the St. George's flag and the Union Jack. I've seen people that have been talking on the side of the road, and a police baton will come swinging around into their face, and they're arrested because they're just there. And many people are saying, why is it that you're so hard on us and you police, let's say, I don't think that's the law personally, but you don't do the same for the rest. It's like the thing is, they're scared. They really are scared, because those local communities, and not picking on Muslims, but if they deem it not to be right, then they're out and they're burning and protesting and this, that, and the other. And the police don't want that to happen, because another thing that you guys will not understand in the US, unless you have it there, there are certain towns in this country where the Muslim population is probably easily 90%. And if you upset them, they will be out. I mean, if the situation with Manchester Airport, I don't know if you know that. The Muslims were in Manchester that night, stopping all the tram system, and then the local police station where the young lad came from, outside throwing eggs, chanting, all the police inside with the doors locked, not coming out. Now, if I went to that police station and threw a couple of eggs, I'd been arrested and in a cell within 5 minutes. So that's a good example of the two-tier system. Why won't they come out and arrest those boys that are doing that?
What I'm curious to hear Goon's view of this, because I know he's somewhere near there.
Well, he's got Sven trying to give him a lap dance.
Yeah,
you mean priorities? I understand.
Good, Sven. Good to see him. He's
Do you have
deaf
any,
now, though.
do you have any
from
2
all the
cents on it, Goon?
guitars.
Sorry.
Do you have any 2 cents on your country on fire at the moment?
Well, I don't know what to say about it, really. It's, a bit fucking stupid and a bit crazy.
Is it causing global warming?
Is it causing what? Global warming?
Climate change.
All those fires.
No. What?
Have you seen any of this?
That question.
I know you're in a fairly small town. Have you seen any of this in your town?
No. Not really. No.
Nothing at all, or
no.
something.
No, nothing at all.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
People are pretty much against this kind of shit, but I kind of get it at the same time. Like,
Do you have like migrant families, immigrant families there in your town?
no, I just know how the government lies to us, and I've witnessed that and stuff. I'm not saying the government is lying about the names and stuff, but yeah, it's pretty shitty how we're treated, and I'm kind of jealous of how you guys live over there sometimes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We got based in the green room. I didn't get a good look at him, unfortunately.
Holy
Really?
shit. Well, his stream ended 1 minute ago. If he
Yeah,
jumps,
There you go.
I got to look at him now. I'm going to add
Going
him.
straight to the source with Crankle here.
did you see him?
Yeah, I saw him. Hey,
Hiya,
Base.
Bates.
Hey,
Hiya.
buddy.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do it, but I've got an apology. I've literally just killed my stream with 800 people and forgot to bomb your channel. I meant to an hour ago, and I forgot to bomb it. So I'm really gutted. Sorry.
Smokesteve.
Wow, what a
Just
twat
sniff you out.
you are.
I know. I can't believe it. I literally just, as soon as I stopped it, I went, "Oh fuck, Steve! Shit, what are we doing?"
Yeah, I do it all the time, buddy.
What's your view, man? You've been on the street. We've been talking about you.
Well, I haven't been on the streets. I've been just on the lives. But yeah, it's crazy in the UK at the moment.
My bad. Comfort.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually surprised that there's been like nationwide protests, and rioting. I didn't think that was in the actual fucking gut of the English people. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like we always have like a little bit of protesting and rioting here and there, but like nationwide at once is kind of insane.
Yeah,
You think it's
I
gonna
mean,
make a difference?
Do I think it'll make a difference? It depends on what difference they want to make. Is it the intended difference?
It seems like they want what's it called when people actually voiced for you in the government? Representation.
Probably not. Yeah, it never goes that way.
so the people will say they're not being listened to. That's what the people would say.
Yeah, they want attention.
They want someone to sort of. I mean, the way Keir Starmer responded by basically calling anyone with concerns far right, an organisation that hasn't even existed.
Is this going to be your J6?
Well,
Bigger.
No,
You think?
no, I don't.
Bigger?
I
Well,
don't.
this
I
is
don't
really-
think this. I don't think this will be a J6. I think it'll be more so like are you guys familiar with the LA riots and that happened?
Oh,
Is it the
fuck yeah.
90s?
Rodney King. Rodney King.
Was it? No, hang on. It wasn't the 90s, was it?
Yes.
It was back
Oh,
then.
it was the 90s. So I think it's going to be more so akin to that. Maybe not so rooftop Korean-esque, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be something similar to that.
so
Maybe not J6.
Does that sound right?
there's been a couple of stabbings today. Have you heard about them?
Yeah, there was a Pakistani man, there was a black man, like black bus driver, and let me have a look. Somebody
Man, why
messaged
can't
me
we leave
about it
the bus
earlier.
drivers alone?
But no, in the riots there was two stabbings in the riots. Do you hear about that?
Deadly?
didn't hear about
No,
that.
I haven't heard about that.
So some lads got attacked with machetes and hammers, and they got they got in a hell of a mess. There's claret. It's on Twitter. It's claret everywhere. They're like seriously injured.
Tea
Does last
lover as
week's
well. I
airport-
know you're a young man, but staying in not in the English psyche, just for your knowledge. Biggest protest up and down the country, but mostly in London. It certainly is in our psyche. Was the Iraq War, against the Iraq War, and a protest that went on for I think 4 years was CND, and we got the nuclear American missiles removed off our what was the big Greenham Common, wasn't it? So Yeah, we certainly do protest from time to time when we've fed up with something.
Well,
Yeah, but they're,
I mean,
they're,
I mean, like,
they're protests rather than riots.
yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
when I say like protest, I'm thinking I'm using like France as my standard, so maybe it's not so.
The French will protest over anything.
Yeah, they wake up and the baguette's like stale, and it's all
Yeah,
sodden
out of the
with
street,
this-
battering people
yeah,
with bread. Absolutely.
yeah, exactly.
The funniest thing
Yeah.
about France is that they like to protest on a Thursday. The Thursday evening is sort of their choice midweek date that they like. Why a Thursday? I still haven't worked out why, but Thursday is like their Thursday afternoon evening is their
Well,
weekly
because there's
sort of
only
protest.
Friday left. That's Thirsty
But,
Thursday. You only got to deal with one day at work, and then you can have the weekend. So
Oh, maybe it's because it's when like I don't know, because I know in like when does everybody else's like work rosters have to come in if you guys are employed by an employer?
Usually the first of the month you get at least 2 weeks.
If it's like a week by week basis, because I think that's what most people would work. No,
I think it was Friday.
It's funny you should mention France though, because I said earlier on in the comments, I think if there's something that's awful that happens in Europe, I can see this spreading and repeating itself through France, or whether it's going to be Italy or whether it's Belgium.
Isn't France an open protest also?
Yeah, France is an open protest, and Netherlands are in open protest after Mark Rutte got out. What's his name? Bert Wilders or something like Wilders. And then Spain is also in the same position. Germany as well.
If you look at the politics of Europe at the moment, it will only take one stupid migrant to walk out and go and kill someone with a knife, and like I say, you're going to see it spread like wildfire. Mark my words. You just remember what I said, because if something happens in the next week or two, you'll go, God, Lee was right. But I can see it happening.
In this scenario that's happening today in London or wherever it is in the UK.
Oh, it's
I'm pretty sure they're just
around the country.
They're gonna point at civilization and be like, "You guys are doing the wrong thing, and now we're going to clamp in even harder," or something like that. I don't see how this is going to turn out where the people are going to benefit. I just don't.
Yeah, that's my issue.
It can do from the point of view that the government wake up and go, right, we've really got to sort this migration out. You know, these.
Do they not know that though?
So,
how do they not know that?
Yeah, but they'll know. They'll know that the public have now had enough. That's what they'll know.
You're talking about a British public that voted for Brexit, full in the knowledge that it wasn't going to be easier if we left Europe. Europe was going to make damn sure of that. Obviously.
That was a tight vote, right? That was a tight vote.
No.
British public, and if the juice is worth the squeeze,
4%.
I love
4%. Okay, not that tight. I'll give you
50-50.
It's you know, at the time, I remember a buddy of mine who's a somewhat clear thinker. He's a bit on the left side, saying yeah, dude, this whole Brexit thing, they're the Trumpers of Europe. They're the MAGAs of Europe. Like, that's how a lot of people were painting them here.
Like I said, 52% of the British public voted for Brexit. So that's like half the country that is supposed to be some sort of, as the left would describe, there's some sort of racist, misogynistic, transphobic sort of community. All the Brexit voters all in the same sort of basket.
You've also got to remember with Europe as a whole, as one continent nation. On paper, it sounds pretty cool, but when you come to the reality of it, we all believe in democracy. So it was very difficult for the English UK psyche that somebody in Europe, in the European Parliament, makes a decision that is going to affect your life, by the way, and you haven't even voted for them. In many cases, you don't even know who they are.
Right.
And it goes through the European Parliament, it gets passed, and now that we all have to abide by that. And that's not necessarily fair, because I think there's always been this undercurrent that Europe doesn't quite like the UK anyway. It's a bit outspoken, and there was many things that were advantageous to them, but not necessarily always to us. And let's not forget, we were one of the biggest contributors, billions of pounds being pumped into Europe, which was then being spent on projects that were helping cities in other countries and not our own. I mean, if you want to go right back, just really quickly, Margaret Thatcher was known, I think it was the Maastricht Treaty, where she said, when we contribute all this money, what's not spent that we've sent you, we want it back. And she won. And there's a funny story to do with that meeting, to be honest, but I won't go into it now. But she basically wore them out. When Tony Blair got into power, he reversed that and said, you can just keep the money. And it's our taxpayers' money, so you can also. It's just so frustrating. So I wouldn't say we were Trumpers. We just wanted to be able to rule our own country and make our own decisions.
Funny you should mention that Ireland obviously is still in the European Union. And all of the stuff to do with like Ukrainian refugees coming over, the Irish government never had a say in it. We were just kind of forced to have them here. We're forced to pay them. At least that's the narrative, or at least that's a more charitable narrative. The chances are like
the Ukrainians
reality
don't seem to
just-
be the problem. You're getting the rest of the world coming over to Ireland as well. It's not just Ukrainians.
No, actually, Ukrainians are a big problem here. Many of them live on benefits, etc., and live in free accommodation, and they don't provide any taxes to the to Ireland. However, they also have their own administration jobs, etc., back home in Ukraine, and they're importing their Ukrainian cars, and they're living off of their benefits as like well, not living off the benefits. Sorry, they're living off their money from their job, and they're using the benefits for extra, extra payments. They're getting we have free healthcare here. However, they're getting actually free healthcare amongst a bunch of other benefits. They are a problem just as much as the.
No. Let me sort of, because culturally they're similar. They're robbing you. They're robbing you. I've seen the like 40 grand. Is it Mercedes 450s? I've done a video about it. It's like a 90 grand Jeep, brand new, Ukrainian plated, driving around Ireland. And it's like it was actually going through a process, which is quite funny because obviously everyone said, "Look at the Ukrainian number plate," and I checked the price on the car, and the cheapest one was £92,000. So that's an expensive refugee. Obviously the problem you're accepting everyone from all over the world, and that's where I was meaning where your problem is. The safety of your communities more at risk.
Yeah, the concept of the European Union seems to be flawed in that there was no overall constitution and or Bill of Rights for the entire Union of Europe. Like this would bring you all together, and you should all be voting on who's we do here with the federal government and obviously our state government. Your federal government would be basically the European Union, but if you're not connected to that at all, then it's a fucking shit show. Like you said, you don't even know these people are just in power all of a sudden. That's ridiculous. And all you're doing is creating a place for more money of your money to go because the UK has more than a lot of countries. So there you go, European Union, bye money. There you go. Greece, you need some money? Sure, here's a couple billion, whatever, Fucking, it's crazy to have like that.
The difference between the European Union and like the federal system in the US is that the federal system in the US is supposed to be more is more of a obviously like it's more of a legal system, as well as like you've got your military and you have your like actually above the state troopers. What do you have above the state troopers?
National Guard,
etc. However, we don't have that in Europe. They're starting it, but however, the formation of the European Union was only ever meant to be an economic, an economic union
But now we got the EU army, haven't we?
Yeah, and funnily enough, actually, the head of the fence is an Irishman. So I can't see European Union waging war per se, especially if he's the head. because the Irish like neutrality is built into the Irish psyche.
It's just funny, they change the rules. They say, "Oh no, we're never going to be
Mm.
admitted." Oh, actually, we are.
So the only benefit of being in the union is a financial crutch to lean on at some point in time.
Not for
Pretty
the
much,
UK.
But if
yeah.
they're
Not,
telling you to
not,
take all
not,
these people, they
yeah,
should
but
also
not for the
join
UK.
in.
We're putting far more into the EU than we're getting out.
Oh,
No,
It's
dude,
kind of it's this whole equity shit. Like
the UK and Germany, basically, when they joined in, it was like, open up your checkbooks, boys, and start that
Yeah.
Mm.
by the billion. Like, seriously, you guys.
Countries like Romania, they do really well out of it. Bulgaria and shit like that, they do really well out of it. They put a euro in, they get €10 back. We put €10 in, we get €1 back.
Well,
You get one back.
Something like that.
To be
Maybe
fair,
zero?
when it comes to the European Union, at least in Ireland, from Ireland's point of view, so we had the Celtic Tiger, which lasted up until 2008, and then we had one of the worst depressions that we've ever had. The European Union helped us through that, right? However,
When was
now
this? When was this?
the Celtic Tiger, it was 2000. So we had, it was like in the 90s, the early to late 90s, all the way up to the early 2000s. Then we had one of the worst.
Are
depressions.
you sure that wasn't the English government that? Because I know we gave Ireland a phenomenal amount of money based on a 5% interest rate, which you were going to be paying back for a good number of years, like a good few decades.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
I think
UK,
the government were quite keen to step in and give them the money rather than Europe because they knew they could make money out of it.
No, the UK absolutely did step in. However, the European Union also did help massively as well and did give us a crutch. However, now we're coming out of it and we're still in debt to the UK and we're still in debt to Europe. And as a result, we have one of the highest outputs, one of the highest investment rates into the European Union. We're one of the lowest returns in the entirety of the European Union. And so even though Europe is such a small country and we have a nice GDP, it's not reflected in the Irish population or actual general wealth either. A lot of it's like propped up by like MNCs like Microsoft, Apple, etc. They have all their headquarters here because corporate tax haven. And so we're in massive debt to the EU and the UK. And we're trying to scramble to get the money together, but we can't. And we're having a lot of stuff with budgeting and that in the government. Sinn Féin, Fianna Fáil, absolute fucking idiots. And it's just becoming a big shit show. I mean, Sinn Féin, I'm a fan.
Sinn Féin, no good.
Sinn Féin, good.
The political arm of the IRA. Come on, baby. Hey,
No.
No.
Let's get this. Okay. Right. Yes, originally Sinn Féin was the political arm of the IRA, right? Originally. However, no. After Eamon de Valera fucked off, no. So it still is in favor of Irish sovereignty. It's still in favor of getting the 6 counties back from the north. Chucky Erla, 32 counties.
It's a globalist party. It's a globalist party.
It's a globalist party now, yes, absolutely. I'd probably be more so in the Irish Freedom
It's
Party.
not a nationalist party. Then all the nationalists have left Sinn Féin, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, would I be correct in saying that? There's multiple nationalist parties springing up, and the majority of them would have been Sinn Féin or another.
Yeah, they
Fianna Fáil or whatever it is.
Fianna Fáil. So originally Sinn Féin was a classical liberal party, and then Eamon de Valera came in and he made it socialistic. All the classical liberals went fuck this and hopped into Fianna Fáil. Fianna Fáil is now a I don't know what you call it, like centre right, at least on the Irish spectrum, like semi-conservative party. And so now we have this very weird political system here, or political spectrum here. But anyway, I don't know.
Well,
Where was I going?
I don't know, but we've done a lot of talking about Europe, and I think the Americans. I don't know. I could talk about it all day. Actually, we're having a good convo.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another thing that's been hidden when you talk about money is that every government in the world is sweeping it under the carpet. That most countries are skint. They've got no money, and they hide the fact that there's hardly any money, and that's what sometimes convinces me that with everything that's going on politically around the world, that a war will be imminent in the next year or two, because if it starts to spread throughout the Middle East, and you've got Ukraine and Russia, it just makes me think that that's where the road finally leads. Because I was reading once again another financial article about if you thought it was bad in 2008, they believe with what's coming is going to be even worse, because the world would soon collapse due to the complete and utter debt that every country is in.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and this Ukraine-Russia war business, the war of attrition, it's just basically these globalists, these neocons, these people pulling the strings in America, they knew the long game was going to be just death, very long, very drawn-out war, maybe 2 to 5, 10 years. They even talk about 10 years. And it's just
drawn out to make money, base.
I know, but look at the death. Look at the destruction.
I totally agree with you. It's disgusting. Yeah,
Ukraine, Russia.
It was a plan. It was a plan, like when it started.
I've said to you before, and no offense to our American boys there, but it's the best war that America's ever entered. There ain't one U.S. soldier being killed.
Hey, but hey,
tons of
we
money
didn't
out.
enter it, buddy. We didn't enter it. We're just giving lots of stuff. We're not in it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. That's why it's good for you.
You need to look behind the details, mate. You were
we're not there, buddy. Nope.
You're not there.
You are there.
You're very long string.
You're there.
You're making a lot of money out of it, and you were certainly.
I'm not making any money.
You're so many guns.
Your government
so many guns.
Raytheon and Boeing right now are like $sign. But on top of that, you guys definitely have like American Special Forces as well as the British Special Forces have been documented to be there as well. Like we're also in it, regardless of whether we want to admit it or not. It's very much playing the game of, oh no, these guys speak Ukrainian. Clearly they're not English, right? We will never say that we're actually directly involved in it, but we definitely are.
Why are
America?
We're directly involved because we're supplying weaponry, irrespective of a few pods of men that go into the country and might do a few little missions. We're very much involved in it. We're giving them billions of pounds worth of equipment.
And we're giving them those weapons that are actually now being fired on Russian soil.
Right, actively targeting Russia, no longer the battlefield. They're going.
They're saying, okay, you can fire these special super duper missiles at Russian soil.
Well, if I put it this way, right? I don't know. Say you have a friend that you know is going to, I don't know, beat somebody up, right? And you go, all right, yeah, I support that. Here's a bat. Are you then going to be charged, or are you then going to be charged for the same crime as your friend? For I don't think so. You're going to be charged with accessory to, not actually.
No, in the United States, accessory is the same for murder.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I don't know. I'm just talking about grievous bodily harm, not necessarily murder. But I suppose
the end result is I wouldn't protect my friend if it turns out that it could kill all my family and everyone in my country. But I wouldn't risk the biscuit. You know what I mean?
I understand that, but I'm also talking from like a hypothetical point of view to kind of test the position that we're directly involved in it. I don't think we're directly involved in it. I think we have a part to play in it and giving them the guns, etc. But I don't think we are from the standard of just giving guns. I don't think we're I don't think we're there being the person doing the thing.
Yeah, but we're giving guns now that is being fired on Russian soil, and we've agreed to that. So that's what I'm saying. I would allow my friend to be beaten up, not knowing my family and my country would be safe. Well, safer than it would be if I can start playing Russian roulette with bombing Russia or attacking the triads if they were connected to the triads, knowing the result would be pretty fucking.
Dafta, that fucking call out was not called for, mate. But yeah, no, I understand.
I know, and I understand too.
I'm curious what it is that you did to offend them that got their heckles up. I'm not sure what that'd have been.
I'm not sure either.
I think
Topple's
we
not
just
coming
tested
on
him.
here, so I guess I'll speak for him. I know that he's starting to back the globalist movement because they're
RW Topple, go for it.
yeah. So I'm pretty against the globalist movement, and so I'm kind of upset at Topple for starting to back that movement. But I digress. I'll just let you guys go on with your conversation.
No. Interesting that you say that. How do you think that he's backing it, and what's your opposition to that particular thing?
I think the understanding of why he's backing it is because certain chemicals like chlorine and stuff are going to come way down in price, so that he can clean his pool for a lot less money.
Stop that shit.
So I just think it's not worth a clean pool to have an economy that's very, very bad for ourselves and the risk of going into much more wars and losing our generation. But it's just me.
It's a good point.
I've got some good breaking news that's just happened.
What do you got?
Liverpool are beating Manchester United 2-0.
Fuck off.
Yeah, they are. They're playing in Colombia, I think.
Fuck
Friendly, 2-0.
Yeah, you said good news. You got my hopes up.
Don't tell me you're a Man United supporter.
Red and white, motherfucker.
I can see I can see my old friend Hayden Hewitt walking to his bedroom right now with his head held down in disgust at his old Man U yet again losing. Sorry, Hayden. Sorry, buddy.
I'd like to big up Dafter as well. He went live today. I think it was in Hull, and I did use his live. I didn't ask him permission, but hopefully we're cool because we know each other. I did tell everyone to subscribe to you, and I leave you a link in my chat. It was a really good live, Dafter, so well played. He seemed to get some good angles, good position.
Dafter does lives. All right, cool.
Well, he had about 1,200 on there at one point. I think it was. So he had good numbers on there. He's only
Speaking of sports, do you guys have any thoughts on the boxing match that happened in the Olympics not too long ago?
Can we clear up the facts first? Can we clear up the facts?
Yeah, sure.
What was this person? A man or a woman?
See, now that I haven't.
What is a woman?
With all the stuff that we had dug into on the Weekly Dig, I had one person saying it was XX and another person saying it's XY. But since they have Moore's syndrome, their testosterone levels are through the roof. They're on a whole new level above what women would be, and that is the dispute. But I couldn't hash out if it was which chromosome.
Well, the World Boxing Championship, the WBC IBF, said this person could not box against women because of their testing. That they found things that were giving her an uneven advantage over women.
Your mic's really low, dude.
That being said, the person has been beaten by 9 or so females in her boxing career, so it's not like she's huge and unstoppable. And she did face an inferior opponent, and I think she fucking cracked her nose, which is no one likes to see.
She chomped
Oftentimes what happens when you have a broken nose from an impact like a punch, they have to stuff about 4 feet of gauze into your nostrils and leave it there for a few days. And it's the most sucky fucking thing that you can have to imagine. I mean, dude, it's horrible. So, I mean, I understand it's a rough thing for her to have clocked this woman. My question is, was she that great, or was this injury just a rough one and she looked a lot bigger? I don't know. There's a lot to this. I'm not on the side that's like, fucking a man. Yeah, I don't know. It's
the WBC never said, as far as I can tell, that she has XY chromosomes. But I interpreted what they said to be as the only possibility was that they did genetic testing and found that she was XY. So, what else would they have tested for?
Okay.
But they never did. They never did confirm it because
I thought on the blood test it was elevated testosterone.
I don't know that would be a reason to disallow
Well, that would be caused by certain steroids. The old school anabolic was basically forms
Right.
of testosterone, you know?
Yeah, but I think they would just ban her for using
Right,
steroids. You know, it
right.
wouldn't be.
No, so she's from Algeria, right? And it's illegal for any form of LGBTQ to exist in Algeria. So the idea or notion that they themselves are transgender is
No,
or
no.
transsexual.
No one said transgender.
Not that.
I know. I'm just gonna go. I'm not saying that you guys are. I'm just kind of like crossing it off the list immediately. And so the idea that they have, that they have the male, like, I don't know what you call it, like, chromosome makeup, wouldn't necessarily make sense. As well as the idea that they have like Moore syndrome, right? For them to have Moore syndrome, that would mean that they would necessarily have to be a female by genetics for them to have the T levels that she did. Because if she was going to have them, yeah, she's going to have them be reading way above the male levels as well. If it was a male with Moore syndrome, versus you could actually see, and she still had feminine characteristics about herself, and she was very clearly a female presenting. She just had some rather masculine features.
That's interesting because on Friday, I wasn't sure whether you're talking about. There's now a second woman boxer in massive controversy. I don't know if you can bring up an image, Steve. Her name is Lin, Lin, and then Yu Ting, YU-TING. So it's Lin Yu Ting, and she's from Taiwan. And if you look at
was she on that plane that went down with Holy Fook and something?
No. You can bring up if you brought up a picture of her, to me, she absolutely looks like a man. Now, I don't mean to be unfair to her because might she just, but worth looking at because now she's won her boxing bout, and there's controversy over it that they don't really understand what her gender is. So, but
hey, Sarita.
There she is. There she is.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still smash him in the fucking head.
Come on.
Skull, but...
Bad timing, Steve. Bad timing.
What?
It's a
bad there's a woman. Oh God! I didn't say that.
Come on.
It's the Aussie.
I couldn't see that. I was screen sharing. I didn't know there was a woman here. Hi, Sarita. How are you?
I look like my dad, but not that much, guys.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Our W wife, you can't avoid me. I'm everywhere.
I'm over here sharing something else.
Yeah, I recognize your
hilarious
you and your background, and yeah.
I'm still not wearing my what you call them? Invisaligns.
I am.
Topple has a test.
Invisaligns.
I would fail it, but all right.
You know, Topple, he inadvertently, with this little chat thing, brought up did you know Harley Davidson has now gone woke? They're the new Bud Light.
How?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I don't know.
Does every bike have like rainbow streamers that it sells on the handlebars now, or like what?
It's the thing, dude. Like Harley is under the microscope now for being too woke, and I don't know. It's a thing right now. I did look it up. Your Google search will autofill Harley Davidson woke, probably because a lot of people are searching it. They're a new company that's come under attack for a flag with multiple colors on it or something.
Well, Dad just made a comment that they actually joined up with a Bud Light or something. It actually is related to that Bud Light.
Dude,
debacle.
your dad's plugged in. He knows.
He doesn't leave the TV much these days.
So you mean Dylan Mulvaney was given a Harley Davidson? Or...
Probably a Sportster.
Yeah, she just like flicks it to one side of the seat, you know, like
she sits side saddle like
yeah,
like a dainty lady in the 1800s.
Boots on. It's pretty good. It's nice. I like it. She just throws Bud Light at people at full speed as she drives down the road.
Have a taste of Lady Liberty.
Oh, right in the face.
Drives and they sell automatic motorcycles now, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that.
That is the gay shit I've heard. Sorry.
Yeah, you can literally sit side saddle. There's no more foot shifting on.
Please don't ever do that, Steve. Please never do that.
I mean,
At
apparently,
least don't wear a helmet if you're going to do that.
yeah, I have to here. It's law. You know, it's funny. The state of New Hampshire, which is in New England, north of Mass, when you're going up there, like if you go during bike week, all the Harley riders, the second they drive over the border, they all stop and take their helmets off. Then they
Nice.
finish the rest of the drive with their head exposed and, you know, susceptible to potential brain trauma,
All
obviously.
the way.
But I would admit, like, cruising down, letting the fucking wind whip through your hair on a bike would be awesome. You know, I mean, be hard to resist for sure.
I like catching bugs in my teeth mostly. Like you kind of like that, and see you can get like a horse fly or like a dragonfly right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Not so
call that
much-
protein.
Yummy.
It's not so much fun when it's a bee or a wasp.
Probably not.
Massholes have to wear. Us massholes have to wear helmets. That's what
I mean,
we
you
call
got to protect their thick skull anyway, don't they?
Yeah. That's life. Good to see you, buddy. He knows about Harley. He's heard about it. I don't know. Did he purposely misspell that, or I don't know? Was he high, or is that
Davinessen? Davinessen. I think ass is in there somewhere. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Was he trying to say Dave and Satan? I don't know.
What was the name? Oh, Mulaney. Not even close. Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm guessing he's high, and it's like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. He's in Scotland.
Chances are like 78%.
Scotland is
right?
currently 2 a.m.
Yeah. Right.
Have you looked anything into the journalist Evan Gershkovich?
Last Dance, have you?
Well, looked into him. I mean, other than that he was just swapped for, you know, as part of a prisoner swap. That's all I know.
And the guy who we gave to Russia was held by Germany. So this is like a try or 3 or 4 countries involved with this.
I thought there was like a there was a family of sleeper agents or something, and the kids didn't even realize that they were Russian and only speak Spanish. You know, supposedly Argentinian or something.
This Russian,
but they cut the story.
The guy was in prison for life for murder in Germany.
Right.
And the U.S. classified him as a Russian assassin. Apparently, I mean, like, I didn't think you'd see that in the news. You know, there's a beef recall. Also, a Russian assassin got sent back to Russia. It's like, holy shit. Like, do people just gloss over that fact that, like, this guy's an assassin traveling around the world, killing people for Russia? You know, they probably have a lot of them. Is that a possibility, Last Dance?
Of course it is.
So who are these journalists? You know, they're spies, yeah?
The guys we got back, Paul Whelan, fucking Evan Gershkovich, they weren't fucking assassins and spies. They were just people. But of course,
I don't know. Paul Whelan, I don't know what he was. Evan Gershkovich obviously wasn't a spy.
You have suspicions about Paul?
Well, his story is a little unusual, you know. I'm not accusing him of being a spy, but his kind of story does, you know, it kind of raises red flags. Let's put it that way.
Let's give a quick synopsis of his story or summary.
Well, he was a U.S. Marine, and I don't know really. I never really could get a good explanation of why he was in Russia. It just never made sense. You know, you hear something and it's like, I don't really understand.
It just didn't sit right. Yeah.
It just didn't sit right. Now, it's, you know, sometimes people do strange things, and it's for innocent reasons. But I still, when I heard it, I was like, nah, that's a little weird.
Wait.
The best negotiations I've seen though was when you gave back that Russian arms dealer the world's wide for a male that larping for a female basketball star. That's crazy. That deal. That's the maddest deal ever.
Now, just for clarification, even though her voice is deeper than mine, that is actually a woman.
She is a
No,
woman.
it's a man.
My question
I
is,
know,
why do
dude.
you?
All signs point to man. I hear you, bro. But she's
Okay.
a woman by birth. Like,
If I gave tattoos with no breasticles, topless, would you be happy then?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't
I'll
know
go
what
with
you're
that.
saying. I'm disturbed by the picture. That
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay.
Please, whatever you do,
There you
don't.
go.
happy
do that.
place, happy place, happy place.
Can you-
right?
Can you
What was
turn
it-
your
what was
cam on so we can, get a
No.
better visualization?
No.
Brittany? Was it Brittany what?
No.
Brittany what?
Right.
Afid Lip, I'm gonna need a breakdown of your setup behind there. That is impressive.
What's
After,
her name?
come on.
It's just some like tablets and phones playing old pictures and videos and stuff, and
Okay.
this one's got the map, the radar,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is just a big large screen TV that like has all I got like old school systems down here like PS3, Xbox, and then behind
Those
me
aren't
is-
old school. I see a
behind-
Game Boy Advance behind you.
Yeah, and then this is games and speakers and fridge
Are
with
those
all my beer.
CDs or DVDs?
These?
Yeah.
No, these are all video games from.
The PlayStation on
And then that's only one half of it. Behind this chair right here. Here.
Oh,
Well,
see.
this is the part we never get to see.
Xbox 360s,
Oh,
and
yeah.
is there a Quest and a PlayStation headset thing? I also see a Wii.
The PS4. Yeah, there's the Wii on each one of these shelves right here is a different system. And then
Okay, I see.
this is the receiver that powers everything's hooked up to it with surround sound speakers and the bottom speakers, and this is a turntable on top of a dual tape deck. So
okay.
pretty much whatever you want to experience down here, you can do.
Epic.
Nice.
Are the is the turntable hooked up to some big ballsy like 70s speakers so you could throw on like Led Zeppelin 4 and listen to Black Dog Cranked? Like,
I mean, I have the two bookshelf speakers here, which are really nice Well, to me, they're really nice. I mean, if people that know about speakers, they might not think, but to me, they're really, really nice.
Mhm. Yeah, some of those old 70s and early 80s, 80s albums too, but 70s for real. Like when you hear them on the radio, you're thinking like, this sounds a little shrimpy. The drums aren't great. If you hear them on big old 70s speakers, they sound so good. Dude.
I have some sitting over there, but one of them doesn't sound right, and I can't figure out a way to crack open into it without destroying the box. So I haven't got to that point.
Yeah, the cone's cracked probably.
Um,
Good shit, man.
Is
3
that a real?
kilowatts.
Okay, I need to know. Is that a real? Have you got like an actual radar system set? Like, oh fuck, what you call it? Sometimes you have like not actual radar system set up, but sometimes there's these little devices you can get which like radar like. Have
This
proper
right here?
radar.
This
Yeah.
is no, it's just a radar app on Android box fed to
okay.
a small TV that I have it going into the HDMI, and then
Yeah.
back here there's a big tablet that's like this big, and it has the constant humidity levels. I mean, I don't even look at it, but to me it's cool. If I want to know what the air density is or whatever, I can go over there and find out.
This is the definition of adult money and too much time.
No,
And I
actually,
respect it.
no, actually, there's hardly anything worth any value. It's all stuff that nobody wanted, and I've
Exactly.
just, yeah,
Hilarious, dude.
all these systems, all the Wii's and stuff. I'm a big thrifty looker, so it's all like stuff I've got off Facebook Marketplace for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
And all
felt
the
bad the
games.
other day. I carried like 50+ inch, TV out and hucked it in a dumpster at my work, and I was like, I know if I could use this thing. Even it had a line running through it. I'm like, I've grabbed TVs before from. In fact, I have a TV here in the secondary room in the house that I got from a trash room on one of my jobs, and they're fine. People
Yeah.
just upgrade. sometimes. Sometimes you'll get one weird line down through it, but
Yeah.
you know, if you don't look at the line, the rest
No.
is good.
I have a plasma, the old school plasma, up at my shop. You know where I do all my work, and it's I don't know 50 inches or something like that, but it's got burn-in so bad on it. It's like you can't. It's old school, so if you watch something. Like a lot of people would watch Fox or CNN, and it would be burned into the bottom permanently. But I have it.
The banner, you mean? The banner. Yeah,
I have it as a big clock. So people come in there and they're like, "Why do you have a big screen TV with a clock on it?"
That's funny.
I'm like, "Cause it's perfect. It's absolutely
Goddamn
perfect."
clock you've ever seen.
I know.
I was gonna
It's
say,
good. This shit just ends up in fucking dumpsters and
Yeah,
landfills
exactly.
anyways, man.
I know my workplace has a shit ton of old like computers, and I'm very into like cybersecurity and that. So what I'm probably gonna do is just nick them and just like make like a NAS system or something, or I'm just gonna fuck with them and break them, see what I can do with a bit of soldering, and see if I can fuck around that way.
They're just old computers?
No, they're not old. It's where I work is fancy, so they got like upgraded, like proper upgraded.
But
systems.
they're just PC. They're just PCs. They're just nobody wants them.
Yeah, they've got like i7s and stuff in them, and nobody's doing anything with them.
That's what I'm on here because I was like, because that's the best way to get them because those companies, they get shit tons of them, and then in a year or two they get all new ones, and they take those good ones, and if you can buy like 50 of them for like $10 each because they sell them in bulk, or actually they just want to get rid of them, and they pay somebody to come in there and take them out, and that guy sells them for $10
Right.
each.
Yeah.
Well, Aphid, what do you do, or anyone here who knows, when I have like a super old laptop at work where I've already had it replaced, now it is the table underneath my new laptop is the old laptop because the thing got so fucking slow. It controls constantly the intercoms and card entry systems and shit. So, like, it's constantly processing, but I don't understand why it got so slow and how can I make it normal again. Like, I never had any luck with that in the past when, like, computers get super slow.
They do.
You can try to delete shit or go back to factory settings, but it seems like you can never bring them back. You know what I mean?
Well, if you use Linux, or you can even turn them into Android or Chrome. It's really not hard. He knows what I'm talking about. It's easy to. It's not a hard thing to do. Or you can put a different system. Linux is a little bit tricky, you know, but like you can turn it into basically a Chromebook, and it'll run way better than it runs now.
Well, Linux used to be difficult. However, like if you want to use like an easy like what you call it, like an easy environment like GNOME or like any GNOME based
I use Ubuntu. Is it better than that?
Yeah, I mean
or
currently,
Ubuntu or however you say it. I don't know how you say it.
Ubuntu. Oh, I accidentally disconnected my camera. 1 moment. If I can get, so I just bought a shitty like computer for €100. It was like usually 600, but it's from a refurb site, and it seems to have good reviews. So I was like, fuck it, 100 quid's 100 quid. So currently on this USB device, I have a Manjaro downloaded on this. So what you can do is you can plug a USB drive, any empty USB drive.
Pay attention to what he's saying here.
Of about I want to say above like 20 gigabytes, right, into your computer, right. Now, you need to download something called Etcher, or you can do it manually, but I recommend Etcher because it's a lot easier. You don't have to deal with any command prompts. So you can just plug it in.
No, not to stop him, but Smokesteve, there's YouTube videos that will just walk you through this, and it'll take you like 10 minutes, what he's telling you.
And literally just plug it in, connect it to Etcher. While you have Etcher like sitting there, you go into your Google or you're going to Chrome, wherever you usually search from, and you search up Ubuntu, Kali, whatever version of Linux you look like you would like. You download it, the ISO file, which it sounds complicated, but it's essentially the image, you know, the actual like file that turns your computer to be Linux. And then you go to your Etcher, you click on the USB that you want, and then you navigate to where your ISO file is. It immediately burns it onto your drive. Then what you do is you plug it into your computer, and then when you go to install it, it will automatically create its own new partition, and it will install itself onto that partition in your SSD or your hard drive, and then you'll have it on your system. When you load up next time, it will give you the option to boot to another system. Then when you're in that other system, you can delete the pre-existing operating system through whatever command through whatever commands that are
Yeah,
there.
it's Windows. Windows is why your computers are slow.
Yeah, it's toast.
Yeah.
This thing is trash. Like, my company thinks it's already fucking gone. So it's like, if I can bring it up, I
Yeah.
can have a second laptop,
Mhm.
like, for nothing, because they
Exactly.
already replaced it, and it's considered, it served its purpose for 7 years of running intercom systems basically constantly. But,
Worst case. Oh, sorry. Go on.
oh, that's it.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, Steve, is just strip your computer completely, take it all apart, take all the gold out of it, and sell the gold and buy a new laptop.
Or even better case scenario, what you can do is you can take off the back panel, grab a bit of compressed air, hold it from a slight distance, blow it all out, and when you turn it on, it may improve the speed because you actually are able to, cool your CPU, etc.
Yeah, most likely what's happening, Smokesteve, is there's the basically the brain of your laptop gets really super hot because there's so much information going in such a small area, and especially with the newer systems, because your computer is updated over the years. It's built for that older system. The paste that they put on top of this to keep it cool has dried up to like chalk. So it doesn't cool it down anymore. So it's not only is it running faster and hotter than it used to, it has nothing to keep it cool like it used to. So that's why it's running so horrible. But the thing that he's telling you, you can run it off of a USB drive, and you're not even using the only thing you're really using is your keyboard and your monitor. Everything's being done because that system, if you run a different system on your laptop, it draws so much less, because they're like built for, phones and stuff, and your computer's way more powerful than that.
Sure.
Oh, changing the subject for a second, because I haven't seen you for
We
a couple
won't
of
be
weeks.
back to this subject.
T-Lover, did you open a second tab?
Yeah. Oh, is it not showing?
Oh, it's showing.
Is it showing the little menu that I'm dragging my mouse around with?
Oh,
No?
that's you.
Yes.
Okay, well, it should show you what I currently have a processor with 12 cores. However, I'm only using 6, and I have a base memory of just over 1 gigabyte, right? So if I hit start, it should show you how fast the system is. Maybe if I share my entire screen. One moment. Share screen.
Why don't you show yourself?
So hang on, yeah. If I do this right, so if I go to my settings here,
I can just show your screen since it's you.
So you see, I have 6 processors and my base memory on my motherboard just over 10 gigabytes, right? So it's not a crazy amount. Also, the RAM will just be limited by my speed of my PC or this system will be limited. So I'm running this on my computer. This is a virtual machine, right? So if I go in here, this is running on very minimal specs. However, it runs faster than I'd say like a good few laptops. However, because I'm streaming, it's currently dying. Never mind. This is a horrible representation. However, I don't know. What do you want me to do?
Excuse me.
Oh, you see, it's fairly fast. This is like upon like startup. It's a little jittery, but I don't know. If I want to do like, just gonna do basic commands. It's immediate, right? You don't have to wait for anything. If I want to, I don't know, surf the internet. Maybe my malware bytes is gonna have a shit fit, but I don't know. We'll see. Like, it will load up YouTube. I don't know whether it's faster or slower than your current system, but I am running on very, very low specs. And it's completely fine. It does the job, and it's easy as 1, 2. So yeah, I don't know. Linux used to be a lot harder to run, but everything now runs similarly to a what you call it? Yeah, runs similarly to Windows now. Anyway, everybody kind of uses the base model of what
What is
Windows
the issue
like.
that you're having with your Steve? I missed that part.
No, it's not my. Wait a second. What the hell did I just do? It's remove some stage. It's an old computer I have at work that I'm wondering if I can bring it back to life. I'm like, it's fine.
Do it, man.
It's
Fiddle
10
and diddle.
years old. But it's HP. It's a nice, probably
Steve,
$800.
does your company give you this laptop?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, tell them to buy
They
you a
did might
bloody
try and
new
buy it
one.
off you for $1.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They did. Now this old one is just. It's literally like sitting under my new one. So I'm like,
right.
what?
Oh, right.
You know, is it worth me putting the effort in, or am I just like, do what, fucking harvest the gold out of it, like you guys said?
I'd certainly try what T-Lover said, and Aphid seems to agree with him, so I'd give it a go.
I mean, I had a guy from a security company I work with, like when we were setting up cameras, he did on the old computer a remote session. And he was like, Jesus, this thing is really slow. It was embarrassing. At that point, I knew it was done for. And it's just gotten so much slower since. So it's like, you know, is this thing fucked? Is it never going to be like it once was? Because it seemed to be so gradual that I don't know what happened. Did it get jammed with dust, or was there some computer like process?
It's too much porn, Steve. It's too much. You've got to stop watching the porn, mate, and then it will.
I don't. That's the funny thing. I don't obviously do that at work on my computer, on my work computer. Never. That would be foolish.
No, never. Don't do that.
What Aphid said about the paste. Now I don't T-Lever. You seem to know what you're on about with computers as well, but I know I've seen a couple of videos about that. What paste is it again, Aphid? But I don't know if it makes it go slow. I think it mostly just like makes it not work. But that paste seems to be a problem with like lots of consoles. Different.
Yes, it is.
What is
it? It does make it go slow.
Oh, it makes it.
Well, anything.
PS3.
Anything with a chip in it has a cooling system built into it, and on top of the chip, whatever chip it is running it, whether it's a gaming system or almost anything these days, there's some way they have to cool it. You know, phones do it different ways, and that paste dries out after, you know, it could be 3-4 years, it could be 8 to 10 years.
It just needs to
I
be
never knew that.
pasted again, doesn't it? And it works.
Oh yeah, all you do is you take off whatever the system is on top of it that's trying to get air away from it, you know, because it gets so hot. There's that contact to the chip. In between those, there's a layer of paste, and it dries out. And once it dries, I can't remember what it's called.
You've applied.
It's called thermal paste.
Thermal paste. It's thermal paste. It's thermal paste.
What do you use? A little spackle knife?
And the reason why I know is there was a video on like Nintendos. It was a guy repairing Nintendos or Segas or one of them.
You're right.
And there was a period where that paste wasn't as it should have been, and it dried out on a lot of them. And
it dries out on everything eventually.
Right.
It's not that hard to. It's just you just scrape it off and you rub alcohol and you're not going to hurt nothing.
Yeah, but the paste is between the chip and something like a cooling fan.
It's usually some type of
heat sink that goes on top of the chip.
Yes.
So you have the pins on the bottom of the chip where you place it on top of the board, and on the top you have this weird like meshy wiry thing, which often is where the cooling comes from. But you put the paste in between, in between that. You definitely don't put it underneath where the pins are.
No.
The pins to fight.
You don't do anything with the chip. You just clean the old paste off and apply the new on top of it. The chip stays put.
Put it on top.
Yeah, the chip. You put it on top.
Yeah, it's on top.
That's what I was trying to say.
And it sort of floats like sporadically, doesn't it, one way or the other?
Well, usually there's some type of fasteners on all four corners of that chip. So when you screw it back down, it spreads that paste out evenly, and it creates the best contact between the chip and the cooling system.
It's funny that I don't know much, but there was something there.
Aphid, what would you say is easy? Oh, sorry.
Aphid lip.
Aphid lip. What's the easiest?
Or aphid.
What do you call it? What do you reckon is the easiest desktop environment to learn for like Linux, like for beginners?
Well, I'm not very skilled in Linux, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I know a little bit about Ubuntu because I've used it. but it's not something that it's just so much easier to use other systems. I'm not really in. I just like to get pieces of crap that nobody wants and have it serve some form of purpose, whether it's so if I have to take it apart just to change the thermal paste or something like that. But as far as like operating system, I don't even operate. I find out what I can do with it, and I don't know much about operating systems, to be honest with you.
Actually, I think I'm going to find a Ubuntu, like Windows Ubuntu ISO file. I'm just going to send it in the private chat because I already sent Berliner Etcher. So I'll send the Ubuntu version.
Yeah, the best way for a regular person to do it is just to search for a YouTube video that is credible. If you want me to, I'll send you one, Smokesteve, if you want to actually try this. And
well, I got to
just
do
step
something
by
with this
step.
computer, man. This thing's just sitting there.
A YouTube video just to get your eye in, and then you can go a bit further.
It sounds complicated, and it is when you hear it all. But when you just do exactly what that guy says, and you just click a link, and then it downloads, and you open that file, that's all you do.
But I'm doing this all through this slow ass computer. So what's it going to take? Like 2 days for the thing to fucking work?
What you do is you literally all this like preparation that we're talking about, you do it on your main computer with a clear USB drive. Then you plug it into your computer when you load it up, and it will load it up into your UEFI thing.
Right, but I don't want to risk my beautiful, my mellow computer here by hooking it up to the poison computer from work.
No, you're just creating a USB drive. You're not hooking up your computers.
I'm from the old days where, like, if you went on the wrong website, like 2 days later, your search engine on your browser was changed to something called Cool Search, and your whole computer was fucked because
okay, if you want to be really careful about it, right? What you can do is you can download the ISO file, right, from the link I sent in the private chat, and you can download Berliner Etcher. You can disconnect yourself from the internet, then plug in your USB drive, install the files, then take it to your computer. Then you can take it to your new computer, plug it in.
Please record yourself doing this whole process so that we, as a group, can experience it with you later.
It's hilarious.
Do it on your next stream.
What I want to know then, I was saying, sorry to change the subject, but just interested because obviously you guys are there. Has Kamala made a big difference?
Who's Kamala?
In what? Our lives?
In terms of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, she has.
Their chances. Yeah, their chances.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you still unburdened?
I'll put it to you this way. It went from I pretty much had no doubt who was going to be our next president to right now I'm back to I have any clue who's going to be our next president.
I'm waiting for that thumbs up for
and
Trump.
And you thought it was going to be Trump.
The second one.
I didn't think there was any chance Biden could win. Not a chance.
Yeah, now I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I thought Trump had the advantage over Biden. And I think, in the words of Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings, after he smote, I wish Duke was here, the Balrog of Morgoth and laid his corpse upon the mountainside, he came back no longer as Gandalf the Grey and as Gandalf the White. And he said, I come back to you at the turning of the tides. I feel like that's what the Democrats did with this shifty little move. No fucking votes. Sorry. Primaries are over.
Any party would have tried to do the same thing.
I mean, they worked it. You got to admit that. And now she's there. She's got white dudes. She's got whatever fucking people. They're all throwing their money at her. She's got a surge of enthusiasm. Has she really spoken much about her policies? No, not at all. Not one fucking thing.
Every time she's cornered, she hasn't. You can see she hasn't got a clue. She talks in riddles.
But she almost doesn't need to. I mean, where she's at right now has got the best chances. The more she talks and tells you her plans, the more people might be put off by her.
Yeah. So
I mentioned the honeymoon period, and she's currently on it.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Now, can I bring up something?
No.
Was there anybody on this panel who predicted that Biden would not be the nominee? I can't
Yes,
remember.
you.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. I did. That's right. Okay, no wonder I was confused. Okay, go on.
Ah.
So I agreed with you up until a point, and there was a point. I think it was about April or something.
Yep.
I changed my opinion. I thought it'd be too late, and there we go. You were on the money.
The way your system works, though, Biden's still the president at the moment, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
So when
Yeah.
does he
I'm
hand?
sorry, can you rephrase the question?
When does he
That's
hand it?
just-
When does he hand it over? Then?
January this time.
After
January 20th.
It's a couple months after the vote happens. You know, it's not like the vote and the next day.
First week of November is always the vote, isn't it? Like the 5th, the 8th, or whatever it is.
Oh, hang on a minute, I'm confused. I am really confused here. Hang on. Biden doesn't leave the job until January. So who are you going to be voting for nationally then? Biden or?
No, he's out of the race.
He dropped out.
Oh, right.
Right. It's Kamala or Trump. Or
But he still
Kennedy or
hangs
Oliver.
around. He still hangs around for all those months.
Because she doesn't come into office, or Trump doesn't.
Because
come
he's
into
finishing
office,
his
so-
term. He's
Yeah.
got a term, and he's going to finish his term. He was just not going to run for re-election.
Yes,
Look,
he's permanently
Okay,
relevant.
I can
So the
explain this.
the term ends like obviously 3rd week of January, roughly. Give or
He's
take.
not good enough to be the candidate,
It's
but he's good enough for the lesser job of being the
Yeah.
president of the United States.
I see.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see where
good
he's
point.
going. I see where he's going.
Um,
Basically, he's not incompetent, but he's incompetent after the January the 20th.
Thanks. That's what I wanted. Okay.
Nice.
Hello,
Yeah, he's
hello.
fine. Up until that point, he's fine. He's got the nuclear buttons. He knows all the fucking.
Oh
he
no,
knows
his dementia only exists after his term in office. You see.
I wonder if
That's-
he'll be legally accountable after he's out of office.
Topple's here. Racist alert.
Wow.
I'm the most on-racist person here.
Oh,
I know.
That's usually the most racist. People
Papa,
say
why are you
that.
starting to fight with Doc there? You guys almost came to blows there.
It sounded like he sent a threat to me, like, "Oh, I know martial arts and all this other stuff." So
Why are you?
he brought it up.
Why are you antagonizing him?
I didn't know who he was. Now I'm scared.
Well, you should be. You got that effect on people.
I don't know. Like I'm gonna say, it's over. Harris wins.
It's over, y'all.
Over.
And you don't think she has to say anything?
No, because look at Aphid, how he's talking like, oh, she's gonna win most likely.
Yeah, that's that. You took
With
the
no
word.
policies. No
that was
policies.
exactly what I said.
I still think with what we've witnessed in the past between now and November, she's going to drop a clanger somewhere and make herself look. Totally
And Trump's not.
No, Trump won't, because we just know what he's like. He just
did it a couple days ago.
Yeah, I know.
No.
It's just Trump, isn't it? You know, his supporters will never doubt who they're going to vote for because he does something like that.
No, but he could remind a lot of people how he really is, because they haven't. He hasn't been seeing them every day like they did before. He hasn't been president for 4 years now, so people have a short term and they've forgotten what it was really like having him lead the country.
That's a good point.
Or hear me out. He stays with his little ear cushion. He plays on that, and he doesn't have to say anything explicitly. All he has to do is just dodge the odd fucking dodgy question here or there. Then he comes around, says something like "We the people." Everybody fucking goes up in arms, starts clapping. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is like, "Hey guys,
you clearly don't know Trump."
You can't keep your
Well,
mouth shut.
Exactly.
I'm hoping if he wants to be if he wants to stay in office, if he wants to get into office, that's what he's going. That's what he should do.
No. He
Last
believes that he knows more than anybody.
Yes.
And that he should be speaking. And if he doesn't win, it's because somebody stole his votes or cheated or
or he didn't speak enough.
Okay.
Or he didn't speak enough, right?
Trump needs to turn around and act like he did at the start in the debate. Strictly talk about policies, talk about their record, and keep it not personal as much as he can.
You're so right.
But he's not going to be able
last-
to because
No,
everyone's
that's
going
what
to
he
be
needs.
calling him
Well,
a
that's
racist.
Welshman.
That's what he needs
That's
to do.
Welsh.
That's
Yeah,
what
but
he
you're
needs to do.
you're wanting him to be a normal politician.
Yeah,
Well, he
he's not
can
that.
be. He can be. Prove. He's
No, he
proven it.
can't.
I want the entertainment. I want to be
The
entertained.
first
I
question they
just-
lead
I
with
just-
is
I just thought I'd look it up, and Trump and Kamala Harris are absolutely neck and neck, apparently, in the polls.
Yeah.
They're necking.
They
Anyone
are.
have any thoughts on the vice presidential pick?
who is it?
Oh, fuck
Well, I
JD
said it was
Vance.
going to be a Buttigieg, but now I don't think so.
All right,
Oh, it
I'm going to
hasn't
read
picked
you
yet?
a question that was featured today on my man Michael Smirkanish, his show on
Bless you.
CNN, which is a great show.
CNN.
I wish you
I
guys
like
would
that.
all.
I've seen that before. It's been a
I
long
wish
time.
you guys would all watch it, and we could all talk about it.
but he kind of welcomes people to disagree with him, and I like that.
Oh hell yeah, he makes tons of mistakes and calls himself out on it, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. I like
All
that
right.
guy.
Which carries more political weight? Josh Shapiro's potential struggle with younger and far left Democrats, or his potential appeal to centrists? I voted on that one.
Who is Josh Shapiro?
He's the governor,
Governor of
of PA.
Pennsylvania.
Ben
Ben
And
Shapiro is-
he's
Ben
a
Shapiro.
heavy forerunner for her
And-
VP pick.
And Pennsylvania is a sway state, so they could
Yeah.
look at it as a
Oh,
lock.
I have
Yeah, let's not forget Pennsylvania has 21 electorates, and Arizona has 11, I believe, if I remember that correctly.
How many is
It
Pennsylvania
also
have?
has Butler, Pennsylvania.
21.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean,
My
Scott
vote,
Kelly
Ken.
is a solid candidate, but he's got almost half the amount of
Mark
electorates. dude.
Kelly.
Yeah, what did I say?
think that- I
Scott.
think that
his brother.
Same guy. It's
Pennsylvania
his middle
has
name,
Yeah, I agree.
Mark
votes for
Scott
Trump.
Kelly.
Is Scott the
Kidding me.
twin?
No, it's
Yes,
his middle
twin.
name. He goes by both names sometimes.
Okay, but doesn't he have a twin?
Yeah, he's got
Yes.
twin.
He does.
I have a
yeah.
question though. I have a question. Are people in Pennsylvania allowed to vote for anyone but Trump, or will that make them look bad? Because
What?
Well, let's get your answers to this real quick before we
It's-
devolve.
You
Uh,
have Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, and then you have Pennsylvania.
I think
So-
it's unquestionably more political weight to him carrying moderates.
That's right. That's what I said. And 80% of people said way more political weight to his potential appeal to centrists, which is
Exactly.
because people are scared by her and her whack job, overly left leaning policies over the years.
But are we voting for him or her?
Well, this is what her ticket's going to do to try to balance it out, possibly in a voter's eyes. This is how they think, I feel like.
I mean, just if he helps win Pennsylvania, that's enormous.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
huge.
It's enormous. That's a
What
good
I-
enough reason to choose him.
I don't-
Here's I don't live. Oh, go ahead, Top. Go ahead, Top.
I'm not going to toot my own horn like Last Dance did, but I said that a month ago. But
Who?
me? I said that.
Yeah.
Can
What's
I
your
get
name
my
again?
own?
Bob
T-
Tonsel. Bob Tonsel.
T215.
T215.
That's his stormtrooper.
So he's more of a centrist type guy.
He
More
plays
than-
the game. He plays the game of left, but like he's been to a cross-dressing thing before and all that stuff. But I have no complaints about him since he's been governor.
Oh, really?
Most of the stuff is when
So
he
would you
was
vote? Would you vote for him? Would you vote for her then?
not for her.
No, but I mean, if he was the VP.
I gotta hear what they. I'm dying.
That's
to hear.
like not even a question that is similar to when Biden and Camilla or whatever you say her name were you were never
Camilla.
even consider them.
No, I wasn't.
So
Ever.
now you're saying that you might consider voting for him. There's a chance
For
if you
him,
hear,
not her.
No, but you would write her name down because he's the vice president. That's what I'm saying.
Not right now because
But
I
there's
want
a
to hear what
chance.
there could be. No, there's no chance. With
You
her.
just said you want to hear what they say.
No. I want to hear what their plans are with the conflict going on in the Middle East and all that.
But so before you make your decision, so they could say something that would make you vote for them.
Not
Well,
for
I mean,
her. Not for her.
I know, but
far
you
left
can't. You
shit, I
can't.
can't do it.
You can't vote
You
for
like
vice
your
president.
government.
You
You
can't
like your
vote for.
government.
You're kind of talking out of your ass here because you can't.
No,
vote
I'm
for,
not.
You can't vote for a vice president. So I'm saying, would you write their name down if you hear what their policy is, and you might.
You keep saying their name. She's part of
because
that.
you can't. I know, but you can't vote for a vice president. He's the one that's going to be the if he's
Yeah,
vice president.
What? Who? First off, Harris is going to be the top person. It's not going to be him.
But you can
So-
write anybody in, right?
Yeah, but
Well,
then why do you care what their policy is? You keep saying, "Well, I want to hear what their policy is."
I want to
So-
hear what their policy is with the Middle East.
Yeah.
But why? Why do you
and
want
the
to hear it? If
border.
your mind's made up already, but you still want to hear what they say?
Because
How
I
was the
like what
policy
Trump is
hawk?
saying. I know what Trump wants. I don't like him as a person, but if it's something that's close to him, what they're saying, I would consider it, but not with Harris. She's flip flopped so many times, and
Okay,
But
I
what are
think
you
it's just
considering
cur-
then? Because
I think
there's
it's just curiosity.
Yes.
what's that?
I think is there a chance that it's just curiosity? He just simply wants to hear what they have to say.
No. I think what they say, policy standards, are very important, and I want to know what they're about. And right now, the only thing I'm getting from Harris is Trump, bad man, and women's rights.
Do you like you like transparency
Yes,
in your life experiences?
yes. I
I'll
try.
pat you on the back for that.
I'll tell you this much: on her fucking calls and shit, Zoom calls,
Were you on the white dude call?
whatever, whoever, dude. You know who's a real prominent speaker on there?
Who?
A young man who survived the school shooting goes by the name of Mr. David Hogg.
Oh, that person.
Yeah, so like they are very aligned with him. They want him
So-
involved as much as possible.
So they want to take
So,
guns from
couple you-
people.
You know what he stands for.
Yeah,
Now,
they
I'm
want
not
to take
gonna-
guns from people that have guns. Luckily, I
Now,
don't.
he could have been lying on a floor with his brains blown across it. Like he was very close to that. So I'm not taking away from the fact that the kid is a survivor, whatever. But yeah, just know his policies align with their policies, and that should help some people make their decisions.
It's not a top 5 for me right now, though. 2A is not a top 5 for me.
Vote Libertarian
number
Party,
6,
everybody.
or-
They got taken over by the Mises Caucus. Do your duty, America.
The measles caucus.
Yeah.
The,
MMR, what?
the candidate, Chase Oliver, is not from the Mises Caucus.
I know, but the Mises Caucus took over now. I know
Well,
he's
they
not
took over
from.
the party,
Get
but
upset.
they didn't take
Very good.
over. They didn't take over Chase Oliver.
You're going to get Last Dance upset. They'll talk about his candidate.
Last Dance is a libertarian.
That guy's gay and stuff.
So what?
He's gay. That's right.
Okay, hang on. Okay, yes, there's a whole thing with that, right?
And
But-
stuff.
But since the Mises Caucus has taken over, and okay, maybe their presidential candidate ain't the best. However, in the future, there's some hope for it. Maybe finally we'll get some actual libertarian principles, classical liberal principles.
Never going to happen.
As long as you guys sit there and say never gonna happen, I'm not gonna vote for them because I don't know, it's not gonna happen. The more you allow the two-party system to continue to happen, the more you allow this weird thing with the Democrats and Republicans dominating everything. You know.
And like what Last Dance said last week, Ross Perot was the closest, and you said 17%?
I think he got 19.
19?
Wow, did he really?
Don't forget his first name was one letter, H.
That's true.
Where did he
H.
go?
Ross Perot. I don't know what the fuck that was, but
Oh fuck! Who was the guy that left the Libertarian Party to go? Ron Paul. He sold them out. That was cringe.
Well, he's going to get a vote. He's going to get Kyle Rittenhouse's vote.
Ron Paul is quite old.
Hey, I believe Kyle Rittenhouse is justified.
No.
Yeah,
of course.
Ron Paul was good. Rand Paul sucks.
Rand
Rand
Paul.
Paul.
Oh,
You don't
it's
think
Rand.
he's entertaining?
No.
You know who also sucks? Ayn Rand.
Who?
No,
Ayn
Ayn
Rand?
Rand. The
No,
objectivist. Nobody know her. No,
I
Yeah.
found her books to be outstanding.
I
Who?
don't. I take
Roland?
issues with the objectivist position. But
I mean, I
yeah.
wouldn't call myself an objectivist, but I thought her books were outstanding.
I'm more
Does
of a
that mean that you look
Rothbardian.
at? Does that mean you look at objective reality, or you object to things? What does that mean?
It's a philosophy that's kind of like libertarianism, but it's not the same.
Mm.
I am more
They
lost
fall
now
into
than I was before.
they fall into the libertarian, into the lib right. If you're going to go and look at it on the square, the political square, you know, you've got. Hang on, where's the camera? So you got your authoritarian left, and you got your lib left, and you got your then you've got your authoritarian right, and then you have your lib right. They fall into the same quadrant on the lib right. Oh, wait, did I do that wrong?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did. So, sorry, yeah, you got your lib right there, right? Sorry, yeah, no, authoritarian right there, and then you have your lib right there, and then you have, you know, on the opposite, you know, whatever. They
So
all
it's
fall
rather
into,
conservative.
yeah, it would be general, like, yeah, in your lib right, it would be your economically conservative group of people. Maybe they're socially progressive, because ultimately the left and right rhetoric has to do with the economic stance of people. Whether it's markets or anti-market economics, and so it's all strange. The trying to introduce like social aspects to it kind of falls off the whole square system that there is, or the political compass. But yeah, they all kind of objectivist, Georgian, libertarian, egoist,
I
etc.
mean,
They all
it
fall into
means
the
a lot to
liberal.
me when you say that they're economically conservative but socially progressive. That basically says it's not, to me. I would just say it sounds like it's a part of the woke movement.
Let's watch a little Trump Rand Paul from
Oh, he
2015,
looks young. He must be
2016.
only 65 in that picture.
That's
Here
a
we
great
go.
picture right there.
First of all, Rand
Oh, he
Paul
looked
shouldn't
like
even
Elon
be on
Musk
the
for a second.
stage. He's number 11. He's got 1% in the polls, and how he got up here, there's far too many people. Anyway, do we want someone with that kind of character, that kind of careless language to be negotiating with Putin? Do we want someone like that to be negotiating with Iran?
No.
I think really there's a sophomore quality that is entertaining about Mr. Trump. But I am worried. I'm very concerned about him having him in charge of the nuclear weapons, because I think his response, his visceral response to attack people on their appearance, short, tall, fat, ugly. My goodness, that happened in junior high. Are we not way above that? Would we not all be worried to have someone like that in charge of the nuclear arsenal?
Mr. Trump, I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you. But Jake,
I want to give Mr. Trump.
Is it weird to say he looks young in that?
That I can tell you.
Fucking slammed him.
That's what people want.
It's entertaining.
If
Yeah,
you
for
hear the
sure.
two of those, I mean, it's Rand Paul was totally right with pretty much every single word that came out.
How
of his
can
mouth.
you say that? How can
And
you
then
say
this,
that?
the clown is like.
So
you
what
know,
is he right about? He's disgusting, but you can't trust him with geopolitics. He's going to nuke the world.
No, the way he talks,
L.
the way
Hubbard?
he acts, the way he speaks, how it puts off, people that don't kiss his ass.
Yeah,
Because
but-
that's the truth
but
of the situation.
You will admit his one-liner that there's plenty of material there was fucking
Yeah,
gold,
but
baby.
that doesn't make me think that he would be a better leader than
No,
the
no,
other
of
guys.
course not. Of course not.
I
No,
love
in that
Rand
scenario,
Paul.
He
but
smoked it.
We know that Rand Paul's central thesis there right there was wrong, because Trump went on to become president. He did control the nuclear weapons. We never came close to nuclear war. We were far more peaceful than we have been since he left office.
And he negotiated with North Korea to stop doing what?
Yeah, I don't know how well any of that went. I'm not saying that
you
Trump is like. I'm not saying Trump is a great negotiator. I'm just saying he's not the, the wild, dude who's
Man,
gonna cause a nuclear war.
Like what do you mean? Go back to where you said. What did you say? We were far safer with conflict or something than we have since he left office.
We were.
How did you put that?
I don't know I don't remember how I put it, but I'll say that we were much farther from nuclear war with Russia.
Nuclear war, but you said military conflict. I think is what you said. Something similar to that.
Well, yeah,
I mean, we're not
absolutely.
bro. We were in Afghanistan during his whole administration. Now
That's true. But
what
now
do we do?
What are we? We're supplying weapons into Ukraine that is causing a catastrophe for Ukrainians and Russians.
We're not. I mean, we're supplying.
Our troops
them,
aren't
but-
there. Our troops aren't dying, but people are dying.
Proxy war.
I mean,
I'm surprised
I don't
Trump
know.
didn't
I don't
pull
know.
us
I don't know
out.
which way I look at that. If it's better to, I'm not saying it's good what we're doing right now, but I'm not saying it's better to have our own soldiers dying on foreign soil fighting for what we think is right, or supplying somebody that's killing their own people and the enemy's people.
Well, it's different. I'll grant you that.
We're supplying weapons that are killing kids still.
I'm certainly a supporter of Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan. I suspect Trump would have done the same thing, but he didn't do it. He had the time. Exactly. He had the chance, and he didn't.
I guess what I'm saying is our citizens and our soldiers are far less in danger under this administration as they were under the previous administration.
How so? How so?
Yeah, I don't. You're talking about Afghanistan only, I assume.
Well, what else? There's no other example of it, but we don't have anything like that going on right now.
Well, if we weren't losing that many soldiers in Afghanistan during Trump's time, but any of them are bad, and but we're right on the edge of multiple
You meant it in a different way.
conflicts.
You meant it in a different way, so it doesn't matter. I'm just saying I don't know which
we're
is
on
worse.
the precipice of conflicts, in the Middle East and with Russia.
And Biden's not the reason between those conflicts that are going on over there, right?
I've heard that argument before, Aphid, about we're not in more danger or less danger. And you're referring to this conflict in Afghanistan.
Well, just our citizens, the citizens of this country.
You don't think the other countries look at us as weak right now because of Biden?
Huh?
Do you? No, I'm being honest.
No, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Do you think other world leaders like Putin and all that look at this country as being weak, seeing who?
No.
You don't?
I don't think they do. No, absolutely not. They know how powerful we are, and that was regardless of either one of them being in office. Do they think that we're weak? No. Like, do they think, oh, now under this administration, we could take advantage of them in this way? I don't think that. No.
Okay. No, I agree.
Well, I think that goes without saying that Putin inherently thinks we're weak, and that's part of his,
But he thinks we're weak because we're weak.
He thinks we are a weak society. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
who's president.
he's like
doesn't matter who's
strong
president.
Yeah.
No, but I guess it's a solid question. Would Putin view? Here we go. Here's a question: would Putin view the United States differently if Kamala Harris was the president compared to Donald Trump?
I honestly don't think Putin cares. who's the president.
Yes, I would think so. I do think so.
I think so.
So we got two don't cares, two do cares.
Yeah, the position I think is because we all kind of know Kamala Harris and her entire thing with like her trading and that, and she's a little bit funny with it. And so I think they know, Putin knows she's got a big stake in a lot of this like military industrial complex stuff, and so they would see her a lot less favorably than the likes of Joe Biden, who just kind of dotted his way into the position and now just kind of have to steer the ship. Well, openly supporting them. However, he's probably benefiting from it, but I wouldn't say so much to the same degree as Kamala Harris would be.
But is Kamala Harris a neocon, a new school neocon? That's
no, she's not. She's not a neocon per se. However, she However, a lot of the money that she does get from trading, and that is to do with the military-industrial complex. And the longer she continues this war, the more benefit she's going to have herself. Versus for Putin, like, I guess she could look at Biden and just go, well, he kind of just disagrees with us, and he's just going to continue this war. So I think they would see Kamala less favorable.
I thought the question was Trump over Kamala. So if it's Biden or
Trump,
Kamala,
sorry.
Wow, look at that. Russiagate.
Yeah.
Someone's still hanging on to Russiagate.
Oh yeah, and Putin definitely knows. Putin definitely knows.
Impervious to facts. I love that.
So
Oh, how about here?
Jeez,
What do you guys
come
feel
on
about-
now? That's Smokesteve's wife.
Should we still keep
Pile on her?
Do you guys believe we should fund Ukraine still? Does anybody?
Hold on. Before that, just real quick. I think the narrative that was under Trump was that America reacted hard and fast to situations, and under the Biden Kamala scenario, it's drawn out and long and democratic, and so I don't think that Russia would want to have the narrative where a large superpower can react quick and fast to something. They'd rather see it coming.
I think those are all minor issues. I think Russia's main consideration is their own security, their own borders, and where the threats are, and that's number one. And to the extent that the U.S. keeps pushing NATO closer to their borders and positioning weapons closer to their borders, it doesn't matter what the president is. That's going to be a problem for Russia. And if the U.S. stops doing that, then that's going to make them happier. I don't think they really care who the president is. That's
but the president
less
would
important.
decide which way it goes.
Nobody knows what the U.S. policy is going to be under Trump towards Russia. No matter what he says, he's not that precise about it.
Mm-hmm. It's just going to be quick.
Well, before he becomes president, it's going to be over with. Remember?
Yeah, it was before he's even one day in office. The war's going to be over.
He was the one that he funded Ukraine when he was president. It's not like there's that big of a difference.
Not during a conflict, though.
Last chance question.
Your answer.
There is a perceived affinity from Donald Trump towards dictators.
Dick.
Specifically, of course, Putin and Kim Jong.
I see no evidence of that
anything,
at all.
But have you seen this perceived concept that I'm talking about? That they say that
it's a narrative. I've seen the neocons, push that narrative, and I've seen the Democrats push that narrative, but I have seen no real evidence of that.
What's their perception based on?
Trump says things that are, sort of schmoozy to these guys, but that's meaningless.
Schmoozy?
If he says, Kim Jong Un is a great leader, and he's just polishing his knob. It doesn't matter at all.
Time.
Huh? That knob doesn't take long to polish. Good point.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's like he's buttering them up for the sale in a business.
No more than that. He's just flattering them for what it's worth. It might be worth something with Kim Jong Un. Putin doesn't give a shit. It doesn't do any good at all. But that's just Trump's way. And the next day, if they piss him off, he'll say something like, he's a shrimp with a small dick. And then we'll be close to nuclear war with North Korea.
Tony Garrett asks a poignant question about this. Pardon me.
One sec, Teal.
Are they really
North Korea,
dictators or just strong leaders? Tony Garrett likes what kind of coming in on the side of the dictator.
Yeah,
Tony, what's up, Tony?
North Korea is.
I would say they're both dictators.
I would say.
I wouldn't say that North Korea and Russia are the same.
No,
but both Putin and I mean, what's the signature of a dictator? Kills his opponents.
They have to have a dick.
Okay, and it's got to be with a potato or a tater.
Right.
No, he kills his political opponents. He suppresses anybody who speaks against him, jails them, or puts newspapers that publish it out of business. It's controlling the media.
Oh my God, are we talking about Biden?
Murder,
Oh, snap!
killing his political opponents, and kind of rigging the system so that only he can
Taking
win.
your guns away.
I think so. I think first I want to go back to the Trump thing.
Don't
I
you
think
just go into Old English? You're like, ye?
yeah.
He's talking about Kanye.
So when
Yee.
it comes to what you call it, Trump, I think it's easier. The biggest thing about these guys that are quote unquote dictators or are just simply dictators is that the biggest thing that feeds them when they drive is most likely their ego. So the easiest way to get on their side, butter them up, as Last Dance was saying, is that they're going to trust you versus like constantly criticizing them for everything that they do. You need to tell them something that they want to hear. It's the best way to release tension because for as long as you call them evil, fascists, etc., they're more likely they're going to build resentment. You just say good, you just say nice-ish things, and they're easy to enough to win over.
Ever.
And when we go back to the last topic, I would reckon that Putin and Kim Jong Un are definitely the archetype of dictators. Yes, the suppression of political parties, suppression of political speech, and suppression of press. Generally, what we would see from fascistic extreme authoritarian government styles. And a lot of it is, I don't know, I wouldn't say they're fascist because they haven't got like the people through the state kind of mentality. But yeah.
Good point of view. I like it. I mean,
yeah, go on,
I
sorry.
guess, yeah. I never liked seeing Trump seemingly on a world stage playing buddy to these guys, even if it was with some sort of a business or trying to gain some advantage, sort of thing. There's a certain amount of presentation, public stuff that the president has to do that people are going to judge them for, and I think that shines negatively on him personally.
Yeah. I'd like to point to the chat quickly. English Bottle Cap said real dictators never have elections. And then Last Dance says every dictator has elections, and English Bottle Cap responds with Genghis Khan didn't. See, what separates Genghis Khan as well as like other figures from history is they're generally considered monarchs. Monarchs are given the God-given right to rule over that land, or if in Genghis Khan's position, he had the might to do so. He had the backing. He had the backing of an entire army and population. He didn't require this weird like political position. This kind of like political show as now, because politics didn't really exist back then. I mean, they did, but essentially that he was a monarch, and he had the God-given right to do whatever the fuck he did. So it plays different to how we have it now today. Like for example, with Venezuela. Then we're going to go to like El Salvador. We're going to go to Pakistan at the moment with their current political party. The thing is that there was a coup. Now they have not a dictatorship, but they have this kind of like martial law style kind of thing going on. With the overthrowing Imran Khan. What's his name? Xi Jinping in China, they have mock elections as well. They all do. The thing is that it's all rigged no matter what, because we're supposed to be in a democratic age. It's just a song and dance. Versus before, when democracy didn't exist and this whole political stage didn't exist, there was no need for it. They didn't have to win over the opinion of the entire world or make it seem that they were the same as every other nation in the world, because all the people knew was their world.
Last Dance, do you agree with that there is a level of untruth or dishonesty in these elections for dictators? For dictators, like in general, like initially the conversation was dictators don't have elections, and you said every dictator has elections. Now, are these elections honest, or is
No,
that
they're all sham.
a sham? Okay.
They're shams in that who gets to run is tightly controlled, and nobody that runs, nobody who's a real threat to the dictator is allowed to run.
Yeah.
Nobody who's a real threat really lives, to be honest.
Yeah,
They usually get shot or stabbed or
in prison. But, or in Alex Navalny's case, he gets poisoned
Somehow-
nearly to death, then in prison, then killed.
Mm.
Bad.
Yeah, that was a
bad choice on his part.
Or if you
Yeah,
really,
he was like taking it for the team, gonna go back.
No, I had, I have some admiration for that.
Yeah,
I just,
well, who knows?
I just
Maybe
think
maybe there's
what-
like 10 other Navalny's that look up to him and they're like, well, he did it.
Yeah,
I can do it.
We'll see, but I doubt it.
Probably.
Hey,
I think he would have been more effective alive and in exile than
Well, yeah, that's true.
dead
We've
and
had-
a martyr.
I mean, even in the West, we have something similar. Who was the fella that did WikiLeaks?
Yes,
Julian Assange.
Julian Assange and Snowden as well, right? Snowden's, I mean, yeah, he's something different, but he's also of the same nature, I believe. And,
Same nature.
even though they're both politically exiled and, politically exiled, thrown around like a chess piece. And
Well,
silenced.
Assange is just, he's back. It's it. He's done. He's free. Free man.
Well, ish.
He's
Like-
not free.
We don't know what the terms are for Assange, and we don't know whether we don't know what's been done to him. We don't know what his level of we don't know whether he got tortured, etc. So he can't,
You think the Brits tortured him? I don't believe
He
that.
never got tortured. I mean,
I
some
don't
of
know.
that video
We
he
have
released was, even still to this day, it's argued about the guys who were fucking with the cameras and RPGs or whatever in Iraq, that
The collateral murder video and similar.
they
ones.
got lit up. Yeah, one of them was a journalist. I mean, we all saw it on Live Leak.
Yeah.
It was a great Live Leak video. Yeah, I mean, shit, that should have been out. That I had no problem with him releasing that.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
No.
What about that? What about that Manning guy? She's different, right?
Yeah.
You get it?
It's going down in
She's-
Israel right now, guys.
She's
Sorry.
different.
I get it. It's very.
What do you got, RW?
I'm dropping in the back chat. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
Backdoor man. You eat
Oh.
chicken. Any man ever seen?
English book couples that perhaps it depends upon the who the elector is that kind of elect the dictator. The original Roman dictator elected by Roman Senate.
That doesn't.
Oh, what's happening in Israel?
So there was a strike in Israel that hit the refugee camp.
Oh yeah.
Multiple fatalities reported, and the other officials are saying that they're expecting Iran to do a attack on Israel on Monday. So I don't know if it's actually going to pop off over there, but there's another Pizzagate thing on the Nexus earlier with Timmy talking about how there's a
Really?
bunch of people staying overnight in the Pentagon, and they ordered a bunch of pizza. So they use this scale of pizza ordering in the Pentagon, which is insanity, to show that war is coming.
Well, actually, there is a modicum of truth there. Actually,
Really, that's brilliant.
You can yes, when there is a lot of activity with pizza orders around the Pentagon that actually go to that local area, you can tend to see whether some national security threat is happening or not.
Well,
It's like checking our shit water for disease.
Yeah.
But
It's like in the.
It's
like
just like it.
It's like yesterday on the boat.
We hope you're
like,
okay. But
There's fish under the boat. You will get a hit in like 30 seconds, and then bam. Yeah, it's like it's exactly what's happening.
well, if today's strike has anything to do with it and it escalates, it'll be Timmy's not going to show up.
It will.
What if just some really popular guy's retiring? And they're having a big
That's-
party for him.
instead of
Hey,
having-
we're all gonna celebrate
buying a
John
bunch of
in the
pizza
super
aces,
secure.
that's not going to go well.
Get 3,000 pizzas. Joe's retiring.
That's
gonna
not
be a
good-
blast.
That's not a good look for some people.
Oh, and on a bonus, that Comet Pizza from the original Pizzagate fucking thing, Guy Fieri did review that place on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
I thought that was.
Lord.
I thought that was about child molestation.
It
It
is.
was.
Oh, okay,
was.
okay.
And like Guy Fieri did a normal fucking triple D, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives about that.
Triple D.
I saw it and I was like, holy shit, this is the place that all the fucking conspiracies about the Clintons are about.
Oh.
And that actually came out in Assange's thing where people made all these connections of like eating children and da-da-da. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about, but like, yeah, it all came from WikiLeaks, man.
There is one theory conspiracy theory I sort of do believe in is the Red Shoe like group. You guys have heard about them?
Red Shoe group?
Yeah, essentially it's a club where a bunch of like very influential people come together. It's like imagine like the Freemasons but weirder. And
Like the Bilderberg group, or
kind of, but what they do is they have children, and like it's either one of their own, one of their blood, or it's a random child. They kill them, skin them, and then use their like blood as like dye for their shoes. Now, it sounds kind of crazy to believe in, but I
Little
can't.
bit.
But there is like a lot of like evidence
Slightly
towards this, which kind of makes me think. So I got to like look into it properly. But I
Okay,
do
so-
sort
so
of believe in it.
You're curious of this. You don't
I'm very
believe it.
curious.
Okay.
I do I do believe there are people fucked up enough for that.
Make
I
sure
do
you're
think-
using one of your digital machines when you run those searches.
Oh fuck yeah!
Hey.
That thing's gonna be isolated from everything. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you don't want to be on those lists, my man.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to
Um,
look it up.
But yeah, let me see what else. So yeah, also I was going to say when it comes to the Middle East and when it comes to the Iran topic, everybody goes, oh yeah, the Iranian attack on on Israel the last time they attacked the Iron Dome was a total failure and just kind of showed that how outdated their arsenal was. I disagree. I think they just threw all their old shit at it to test the limits to see how, or not even the limits, just test to see how it responds and how well it deals with it. You get like a crazy amount of data from it. Like for example, the positioning of the different defense systems and that, and you're able to measure the type of missiles and stuff that they're using.
They threw 300 missiles and Hemi droids at them, though.
Yeah,
That's a crazy amount.
yeah, but they have
R2D2 and
Iran
C3PO
is a
had nothing
huge
to do with
place.
that offensive.
What's that?
R2D2 and C3PO had nothing to do with that offensive.
Star Wars sucks. Stop.
That's
But yeah, I was gonna say, it's a crazy amount to hit them with. But you got to remember, Iran has a lot of money, and it has a lot of like.
Biden
already-
gave them money, so
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be interesting. I
Yeah,
hope it doesn't
well,
kick off.
that was part of that buyout, right? We had to pay them like $500 million.
They
Now,
could only
500
spend it
million
on
isn't going to
nuclear
be able to
technology,
support
though.
them that much. 500 million is nothing.
No, yeah,
they
well,
built
I
in
mean,
3
but
missiles.
they weren't supposed to use it for military purposes. But yeah, I know, I hear
Well,
you.
every time I give a homeless guy money, I tell them not to use it for drugs. So
500 million would be a couple of days using like
politician,
some
probably.
sophisticated U.S. weapons. Like the money goes quick when you're talking about our stuff, dude.
I was going to say, there's talks that so basically Afghanistan has also claimed that they got nuclears somehow, and Iran is also claiming the same. Or America's claiming that Iran has nuclears, and it supposedly have all come from Pakistan because Pakistan decided that they were going to double cross both Afghanistan and the US, and they funneled a shit ton of money into their own defense, and they used both intelligence agencies against one another, and screwed them both over, and kind of did a fuck you guys like this, and just like
I thought Iran already had nuclear capability.
Supposedly, now this was a couple years back. This is all the way back in, I would say 2018, and maybe before that. And so this is all kind of very strange. So yeah, I don't know. They're claiming that they have nuclear capabilities, but the question of where this nuclear capabilities come from are up in the air. Everybody kind of pointing at Pakistan, saying, "Oh, Pakistan did it," but I don't know. But Pakistan outright denies it because they know that they got all their funding and that from, from the US, while also getting all the intelligence and that. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm just more worried that a shithole like Pakistan can figure out nuclear weapons.
Actually,
Trump words.
I don't think India is going to allow that to happen.
Yeah,
India will be sending in covert strikes to blow every piece.
They don't just.
They tried it. India tried to put their foot in the door, and they got told to fuck off.
They just don't seem like like they got the smarts.
I agree with the current leadership in Pakistan, absolutely. However, they had an election back in February, which the PTI, which should have won, were all forced to run as independents, but still won by a majority. So now they're in this weird loo where the government's refusing to give up. Yet all the high-ranking officials in different places are stepping down, and they're claiming that they're saying there's been a bunch of rigging and that, and it's just kind of weird. There's mass-wide protests and blah blah blah. So they're in a very weird position, and the government right now is definitely unstable. It definitely is a pain in the ass. However, if you had Imran Khan back, it'd be better. Anymore. Oh, it's not. It never was. If we think it not right now, it never was.
So you don't think that today is any more elevated than before? It doesn't seem like the whole world's in shambles more than it was before.
I think we're more aware of it.
Possible.
So, Aphid, who do you have? Who do you have your eyes on for a vote?
Huh?
Pamela Anderson,
presidential candidate.
Well, I would never vote for Trump. I mean, that's been pretty obvious. So
yeah. I probably won't either. So, and I'm not going to vote for the other side.
I will always vote again. But see, to me, that's just throwing. If I don't want Trump to win, then I'm going to vote for who's ever running against him because I don't want him to win.
You can say it. Go ahead.
Come
I will
on.
vote for whoever that is. Right now, it's Kamala Harris, so I will vote for her.
So many people have the mindset of throwing away the vote because if they all could go in together and vote for some other person together.
I mean, if I see that that's going to happen, then yeah, I would be more for it.
How do you do that?
Me
How do you do
too.
that? Just polls.
Well, you get somebody that is right now. Who would that be? We got
Chase Havler.
How would you even know that people would go all in on that? Like polls? Is that how you'd lean on?
Well, no,
that?
you'd know if somebody was like say the Kennedy dude. If everybody was like, man, I really love what this guy's saying and I'm on board with it, then I would consider doing something like that because that's just voting for somebody who I think could win and beat. I've almost always in my lifetime voted for the person I didn't want to win. I voted against that person. Pretty much always. Because I don't like any politicians. There's none of them that I'm like.
Want to go home?
There's none of them that I'm like excited about and want to put a bumper sticker on my car. Never.
Right.
Well, I mean, who puts bumper stickers on anyways? What is this?
Hang a
24 on my
flag in my front yard. I mean, I see lots of flags. Come on, man. There's never been a politician that I wanted to hang a flag in my front yard because I liked him that much. Never.
So you're saying
I hope someday
you see a lot of Trump flags.
You're saying
hell
that
yeah, you don't see Obama flags or
getting triggered.
Kamala flags.
Old news, Kamala.
I know, but you didn't back then. I didn't drive down my.
Well, Kamala doesn't even have a flag because it would be Kamala ? Who's the second person? You got to have another name.
I think question mark is fine. Just put it inside a male-female gender symbol and the question mark in the middle.
It bothers me that people are so into a politician. It just bothers me. And most of those people that are so into him were not into politics at all before that politician got involved. So that bothers me.
Why does that bother you?
Because why are you putting somebody on? It bothers me when with these Taylor Swift fans that are like,
don't fuck with them.
like anybody that has that much power over the people that look up to him, it bothers me when somebody's got that kind of control.
Oh,
It
they're all
bothers
gonna
me too.
vote the way Taylor does, dude.
Thank you,
Hang on.
Last Dance. Thank you.
You say that.
Taylor Swift.
I want people to have their own mind.
Yes.
Hang on.
She
you
just sings
guys-
songs.
That's why I couldn't run for office, because I wouldn't respect the people that were all into me. I would be like,
Yeah, but they
Man,
have. They have.
I'll tell you why you couldn't run for office, because you couldn't lie the way a politician can.
She's gonna.
well, thank
move
you,
some
Last
votes.
Dance. That's one of the nicer things you've ever
Just
said.
pretend you're trying to buy something from the public. instead
I'll
of
tell you
stealing
one thing
from them,
about
and then you're good to
Taylor
go.
Swift. She's gonna move some votes, bro. And she should.
Well, she's
Oh,
gonna.
hell
I don't
yeah,
think
she
she's gonna
is.
move any.
Oh,
she might
no.
motivate. She might motivate some, because, like I
That's
said,
what I
don't-
mean by that.
Don't
That's
get
what I
rid-
mean. She's
She's
gonna.
one of those retarded
She's gonna
policies.
generate some votes.
It's always the same. People are always in their camp. Well, not always, because I think a lot of these Trump supporters were union Democrats that have been. I mean, the union guy spoke at Trump's deal.
Not
The
not
head
not Sean
No.
Fang.
No, it was the what? It was the which union was it? I don't know. Last Dance probably knows, because he's
Teamsters.
Jeopardy. He's a Jeopardy king over
That's Sean Fang. He wouldn't do that.
there. Mm-mm.
Why are the unions speaking for Trump though? They're usually Democratic. led.
Yes, and he
Because
actually.
their members are pro-Trump.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's where Trump.
Why are they
he
pro-Trump?
moved votes?
Why are they pro-Trump though?
Because Trump talks like they do out in the shed, drinking
No,
a
that's
beer
not
with their
the
buddies.
reason.
And because those listen, I didn't finish. Those
Okay.
guys don't relate to, pink-haired, extra bathroom. They don't relate. They relate more to that guy than they do their party that they're told they have to vote for, because that party is the one that actually thinks that their cause is worthy. The Republicans want to get rid of unions.
Yes, they did. They still do. But there's other reasons why they're switching, because the border is being open. Even though it doesn't affect you, it does affect other workers.
It affects the union.
It doesn't affect most of
Yes,
those
it
guys.
does. You have
Not
no
most of them.
clue.
Not
You have
most
no
of them.
clue.
No, it
And
doesn't.
then on top,
It just
yes,
doesn't.
It does.
I mean,
Yes,
I don't agree with you. I'm sorry. I just
You
don't.
don't think that affects the unions? Because that has to do
No.
with the workforce, period.
And I agree. I disagree with Last Dance too, where he snapped at me because he said he gets angry when people say they take all the shit jobs that nobody has, and it's not how economy works. It is how economy works, because nobody is working at any of these restaurants and any of this stuff now. Nobody's lining up to get these grass cutting jobs and roofing jobs, because they can't get that. They can't get that job. Nobody wants to do that job. Nobody wants to do all kinds of other jobs because our employment rate is so low, and they don't want to work at my fast food places. So I got to wait 45 minutes to get some crap food fed to me. And I agree with you that if there was people lining up, and they're white families that lived here their whole lives and generation after generation, and they can't get this job, we're cutting the grass because the grass cutting owner is going to hire some cheap Mexicans to come up here and do it. But that's not the case. If those Mexicans weren't up here, our grass wouldn't be getting cut, and nobody's cooking my food.
How about this? Do you think
I'll
Trump
say it
tries-
again. That's not how the economy works. And that's not
how
the
the economy's working right now.
That's not how the job market works.
That's how the
and
economy's working when the employment rate is so low and people are
it
not
is
looking for
no,
a job.
That is wrong. That is not how it works, even when the employment rate is low.
Well, who's looking for those jobs? Have you heard anybody complaining that they can't get a grass cutting job or a roofing job or a drywall laying job?
I complain when I have to do them.
Nobody lays drywall.
All there
Mexicans
is
do.
It's
No,
just
you
a
hang
big.
drywall.
It's all just a big auction that
panel.
goes on out there. And when you increase the supply of labor, it's the people who are buying labor that win the battle, and the people that are selling labor lose. Their wages are pushed downward, and even if it happens in one area, it ripples to all areas.
And then what's the other thing Trump has been notorious to say is, I'm going to keep the jobs in the United States. We're not going to allow
That
them.
I like. That's you asked me before if I just
that's
hate
union.
hate his
Union.
policies. I think Trump with the buy, because that's if we just, I mean, we got to pay more for it, and that's the line. That's why we're not doing it. Is because you got the cheap junk sitting next to the American junk. And people, if the American junk's going to be a little bit more, so we could pay our workers a little bit more than they pay Han and whatever to do it. And we're always gonna buy the cheap across the board. We're gonna buy the cheap stuff first.
If only we.
And we're gonna complain if we don't, and all we have available is the American stuff. It's our own faults, just like everything else is that everybody wants to blame somebody else for. No, every problem is our own fault.
That's
if
right.
we just see that, then we can maybe fix areas.
That's
and we
right.
won't have junk mail, and we won't have junk text, and you don't reply to that stuff, and we can fix our own problems.
I can't.
That's exactly right. It isn't Bill Gates that made globalism.
Right.
It's us with our dollar bills saying I'm gonna buy that one. That's what makes globalism.
Right. The ball player that's making $30 million a year because he can hit a home run makes that money because we pay $100 to go sit in that seat and watch him do it. We're idiots.
Right.
What about DEI? What about that aspect of life? I feel like I had nothing to do with that, but it's part of my life.
Wait, what?
So, he's saying like we caused all these problems, and there's problems that I'm experiencing in life that I had nothing to do with, like the DEI situation in the world market in America and all this.
Yeah.
The woke aspect of things. Did I vote for those things? I didn't have anything to do with that.
Well, first of all, when Aphid Lip says we, he doesn't mean you personally.
Right.
He means the average American.
Right.
But I am an average American. Like I'm part of the whole.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
But there's somebody on the other side that doesn't agree with you and is like, well, I didn't cause this problem, but you caused it, and it averages out. It's just how things work.
So I think DEI is different, and it had its day. It was a stupid ideology, and its day is over. And
yes,
it's on its way out.
I think he's right.
Well, do you think Harris is going to get votes just because of her race?
No one's going to vote for her. Well, I can't say no.
What?
But
what race is she today?
It doesn't matter, Indian or black. I think that's the most stupidest thing going on too.
That she's a woman and that she's of color, whichever color you want to call it. Like I said, it's not changing anybody's vote, but it might motivate that small percentage of person to go vote. Where if Biden was doing it,
and let's be honest, if it motivates some people who vote for her because of her identity, because of her blackness, it will motivate some people to vote against her because of that. So
exactly.
It's hard to say if it's a wash.
That's exactly. He's exactly right.
Racism is still alive in America.
There's always
or people that don't want a woman in office. I'm not voting for a woman.
Exactly. I mean,
you know what? I agree with that one.
Every one of those is a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways. There's no way to. I don't really think anybody knows. I don't think Kamala's campaign knows exactly which way that's going to cut.
Well, they're going to use it. They're using it right now.
There's a lot.
The first question they asked Trump was, "Why is he racist?"
There's a lot. I think a lot of them are just trolling, but some of them don't seem like they're trolling, and they're very misogynistic towards like Kamala not being able to be president because she is a woman and can't do the job. And I'm like what? Huh? Like when you made the comment, Aphid, because like do you actually think that a woman can't run the country?
No, here's
no, I didn't say that. I'm saying
said that 100%.
No, I'm saying I'm going off of Last Stand, saying that there's people out there that think that way. I think there's people that think that, like he's saying, who knows what the difference is. There's some people that are like, oh, a woman, I'm going to go vote, but then there's a lot of people that are like, there's no way I'm voting for a woman. They can't drive. I'm not saying I feel that way. I'm just saying
an Asian woman.
Whoa! Now we're
Thank you for clearing that up for me.
Wow, stereotypes now.
How's she going to drive the country?
Right.
RW, I see why these guys aren't in the Nexus yet.
Why? Because they speak too linear, or what?
Yeah.
This is why I don't
it's like a
believe
stereotype issue.
the rope-a-dope strategy that the Harris campaign is trying to use is going to work. Because I think ultimately, most people want to know if a candidate can handle the job, and you can't get away with believing people are going to believe you can handle the job by not having any positions and not facing a hostile interview, and just talking about how there's you're unburdened by what has been, just talking in bizarre riddles.
Right.
Yeah, and still,
It's
PhD level linguists look at
Hey,
that. And
good night,
say,
T.
it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Good night.
Oh, see it.
All right, take it easy. The only way she got away with it this long is because she's running against Trump.
Right.
And Trump makes it easy to
That's the facts.
Right, but it's we get, like I said before, Americans have everybody has such short-term memory. I mean, the assassination, honestly, was yesterday's news. We got a lot of time. We got a lot of time before this election happened.
I argued with RW right after that. RW said no. He's wrapped it up because he said,
"Oh no, it's over.
It'll be gone with the next news cycle.
It's over."
Yep.
And
brings it up.
And there's months before this election, so she can't do this like. I'm gonna let him bury himself.
Over. They don't. They're looking into all of these different agencies that shit the bed on.
I mean, you're talking about what you're not talking about people.
Huh?
That's what you're not talking about. What?
Just take a shit.
You might be interested.
Trump, though.
Yeah, and you might be interested in it, and there might be people that are looking into it. But the attention span of the American people, the general people that are going to go check 1 or check 2, they're done with that. Even if it gets brought up that there's some major thing that happens, it doesn't matter anymore.
What percentage of the population do you think actually is paying attention and wants an answer?
I mean, they might want an answer, but it has nothing to do with who or if they're going to go vote. That's just people that are already in their camps already. You're talking about people that are below the line of people that matter, because those people don't matter. They're already going to do. There's nothing that's going to change their vote. The general people that vote could change, or they could be motivated to go vote. That's not in there. They're just general people that aren't that into politics or into discussion or anything like that. Those are the people that are going to change the close states here or there.
I'll tell you what's not unlikely to happen. They're not likely to find that the Democratic Party or Biden or Harris or someone there arranged for Trump's protection to be second class and not to try and stop a shooter. That's not going to happen.
No.
If it did happen, do you
that
think
might
it
help
would change the vote? If it did happen miraculously, do you think it would actually change the votes, or are people like, no, I'm still in the same camp?
I think a lot of people would not change their vote.
No, because that's not the person we're voting for. We're not voting for the person. It's not like Biden. You're not going to find that Biden was like, "Hey, sniper, stand down, let him go," or it would even be that. It would have to be Kamala on that microphone to change the vote.
Right.
Breaker 1-9.
Take the shot and come back and change me.
I mean, I understand you're passionate about it, and I'm not saying you're wrong for your passion. We should find out what's going on. But I'm just telling you, as a general rule,
Riddle, show me two fingers.
It's not going to make a difference.
I think a lot of the population
show me two fingers,
has
Riddle.
their window of information that they absorb, and then they pay attention to it, and then they're just on to whatever flavor it is that week. I agree with you that the attention span is seconds now, but I still think that an assassination attempt on a candidate is still such a big thing that it's not just going to wash away by the time that November comes. I just don't think it's gone yet. And I don't know. I just don't think it's gone.
I mean, as far as gone with changing people's votes, I'm saying it's gone. I mean, I'm sure there's interest in it. I'm not saying that nobody cares about it. I'm just saying influence the election one way or another, it's yesterday's news.
Crazy.
That's what I'm saying. But it
Welcome,
it shouldn't have nothing to do with the election.
We don't have to. We've already seen proof it's yesterday's news. The polls are back neck and neck, like nothing happened.
What polls? Dude, there's so many different polls coming out. Some with Trump like this big.
Trump got shot at.
He got shot.
He got hit. And then the next following week, Biden gets forced out of running. And they put Harris in. So there was a pivotal change there.
No, top of your line. He chose because he was thinking about the better. He was thinking of the nation.
That is the biggest lie.
God,
No,
Topple.
that's what he said.
We should all thank him.
Right.
I would thank him more if he steps down. Actually, I don't know if I'll thank him more if he steps down before January.
You want Kamala to be president? I think that would be.
I feel like I'm in a rough boat.
I still think that's in play. Let's say that.
What's in play?
I still think it's a play that Biden might resign so Kamala can be president.
I
If they
don't see the
decide
benefit- I
that
don't
it
see
will
the
help her
benefit
win.
of that. I mean, I guess
Well,
yeah.
you don't
if they
think it would
just-
help? Let's suppose
I
she
don't
starts
think. I don't think
faltering.
it would help.
I don't think
suppose
he can
she's-
last till January just functioning. I really
Yeah,
don't.
if like she tanks, they got to pull out every string. So I guess
Right,
you're
exactly.
right.
That's
Yeah.
my point. Is it's still in play? If she starts sounding like an airhead again,
right?
She's
going to. But what's going to make her sound more like an airhead? That she's got to go meet with all these people and make executive decisions? That's going to make her sound even worse.
When she's in office, she'll have a lot of help on what
How
to
about
say.
this? Do you
like
think
every
those two are
president.
going to debate? You think there's going to be a debate?
I think they have.
I think that would be worse for Trump, to be honest.
No. This morning, she declined the Fox debate.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, I don't think she'll have. Not only will she not agree to a debate with on a network like Fox, I don't think she'll allow any hostile interviewers. I think it'll all be extremely scripted.
We should get her on the
see
phone.
that.
Her and
it would probably, and it would honestly be smart on her side to do that.
It'll all be based on her internal polling. If
will
her
be.
internal polling says it's better to stay away from interviews or hostile interviews,
Yeah, that's right.
she's not going to do any.
That's right.
If it looks like she's not, that strategy won't
She
work.
cannot
then
come out and
she'll
say
do something.
Trump is afraid to debate me all the time. That's the problem.
Well,
Just because I don't show up to all the events that we're supposed to debate on doesn't mean that I have anything to do with it.
What is that? What is that, Smokesteve? Oh, he's probably not. He can't.
Looks like lemonade.
That's what it is.
What is it?
That is a margarita, 2 shots of of tequila, about 3/4 of a shot of curacao, half of a lime squeezed in there, and some chunks of peaches.
Oh, that sounds really good. I had a couple of those last night. Well, not like that though.
My kid likes to make herself because she's seen me make a drink, so sometimes like in the evening she'll chop up some fruit and mix it together.
Nice,
with some juice.
That's awesome.
Some vodka.
No vodka. No. She's a kid. But she's seen old Pops doing it once in a while, and she's like,
One
"Oh,
for
that
you,
looks so good."
2 for me.
Wait until she turns vodka years old.
Yeah,
your
possibly.
bottles are going to start to diminish much quicker.
Holy cow! We have a Smokesteve sighting. Oh, but it's Smokesteve's wife.
Yeah, we chatted.
Yeah, awesome.
It was nice. It's a fun chat.
What a lucky woman.
Yep.
She complimented me on the
And
quality of the meal.
Smokesteve is a lucky man.
You took that out. That was my follow up. You stole it.
Yeah, well, you could say it. You were thinking it.
Did she coach you on Harris?
I'm a catch.
Coached him up. That's why he's wearing a Harris hat.
What?
No.
I do. Wife is all right. She's the best.
She's all right. I was about to say you better say she's the best.
It's the best. I'm a catch.
Oh no, you're voting Harris.
That she's got pull. She's got pull.
Yeah, she does.
She sounds like a dictator.
Yes, she did.
Now that's funny that she says he's voting Harris. She knows I'm not, but it's great. I love it. She can. That's funny as hell. Go for it. With the blue hearts, it's great, babe. I love it. I'm voting like nobody, dude. I feel
He's
like
I'll take your vote.
Like my dad said back in the day, I'm voting for Mickey Mouse because it doesn't fuck. Holy shit, there's Riddle. Where'd you come from, homeboy? Fuck, what's up?
2 hours.
He has?
Has he said anything? Has Riddle
He hasn't said anything.
Yeah, Riddle, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm getting ready to remove you if you don't say something.
Oh, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
That's why. It's the sound.
He's not muted. He's not muted on the stream. Oh, I just heard a click, like an audio snap. Say something.
Yeah, click.
Oh, hello?
Yep, now we can hear you.
There you are.
Now I'm good? All right, sorry. I was trying to say, I was asking, did you guys see the, was it the Chicago interview with Trump?
No.
With the black guys?
Oh.
The black journalist
Yeah.
ladies?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta at least stream the first 5 minutes of that. It's hilarious.
It's horrible.
It's
Yeah,
great.
that's-
It's
I think I did.
hilarious.
I saw the
I
first
love it.
minute of it, and it was a disaster.
Oh, that was awesome.
When she's
Yeah.
questioning
Do you think her question was
Harris's
valid?
blackness.
Her questions were loaded
her,
for sure.
Her opening question was like thick, condensed with like all the shitty things that Trump did, and that was like her starting question. And then instead of answering it, he just like he
Oh yeah,
jumped
it
in,
was.
man.
I mean, it was a pathetic, biased question, as you would expect from the objective
How
journalist.
did he answer?
on ABC, but
He answered which way though?
yeah, he answered like the
Trump.
moron he is.
He played the Trump card.
Yeah.
But then he didn't just like do that. He shit on her for the whole interview. He shit through her to talk to the one person he liked on the other side of the stage.
That was great.
It
Did
was
you see
brutal.
who grabbed her water?
No.
And how
No.
how does
Oh man.
do you think that politically was a win?
I think that it's the entertainment that all the people want. I think that that's what they're voting for.
That's
So
exact-
many of them are
That's all,
voting
that's,
for that.
that's all they want. I would say I would say yes. I think some
I'll
people would think it's a
say-
disaster. I think it's
I'll say
comedy.
there is a question mark there, and that is the fact that he doesn't cave into anybody, which is not because he's tough; it's because he's an egomaniac. The fact that he never caves into anybody may attract him some votes. I don't know. It happens, you know.
Do you think it's going to be the black votes? I think
I
the
think
black
there'll be
people are
a
on
few
board.
because there's always surprises. Like, I don't like the guy, but he's tough, so I'm going to vote for him. But he
And he's a
hates you.
convict.
He's tough. That's
He's
all
a
I'm saying.
convict. He's been shot at.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
just
gang
earlier
right.
today, I saw a news clip of some guys in a barber shop.
Harrisburg,
it's-
PA.
It's stereotyped, but they're all African American, and the newscaster asked them, "Do you see her as black?" And like 3 guys in a row said no. And then the announcer went on to say that he thought that this might have been the lower brow, uneducated
Yeah,
level of society.
the white announcer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That well, he's not wrong. It's
Barbershop
Harrisburg,
is the
PA.
intellectual hub.
Did you see that too, Topple?
Yeah, I saw it.
I mean, it is, if these guys who are obviously black and they're proud and
They're in a
they'd
barber shop.
probably be fun to, chat with. They're the guys when a white guy goes in, can you do anything for this hair? They say, I can cut it. And
I
you
think
let 'em,
people are going
they're
to
fun.
be surprised with the black vote this election. I really do.
I'm not going to be surprised.
You think wild card? Top?
No. It's the percentage is not going to be what people think. I think there's going to be a lot more, but it's always going to favor the Democratic.
No way.
think
I'm
things are moving.
85%.
So you
85% Trump.
might
candidate.
get the black male vote more than he's.
Oh
ever
yeah,
got.
yeah. You're not getting no black woman vote.
Yeah.
Well, a couple, but you know what I mean.
Well, we'll see. I think that's mostly wishful thinking. But,
How about the Indian vote?
I
Inside the country or in India?
think Harris will get that.
I don't know. This thing's fucked right now. I think Trump's fucked, man.
I think actually a lot of the Indian population would probably vote for Trump.
It's possible.
They are smart
Yeah.
people.
They like money.
stereotypically.
They're money oriented, right?
I've done some work for some Indian people. They got dough and they're smart. At least someone tried to work for them. I mean, I'm not lying, right?
Yeah,
they have
man.
houses. They have like expensive systems.
No.
I have never seen an unsuccessful Indian person in America. I haven't. I just haven't in my lifetime. They're no matter what position they've been in, they're doing well and they're dedicated, and so yeah, I've never seen a homeless one that I can recall ever.
Interesting.
Yeah,
You?
I've seen
You
them.
guys?
Yeah,
You see them?
yeah, at our
No.
Walmart, and they're always like they're waving, and they bring their whole families, which is weird. I don't know if they're I don't know if they're Indian. They're Middle Eastern.
Oh wait,
So-
a whole different ballgame.
Whoa.
I mean, how? What do I didn't? I'm
Are we
not
talking
gonna,
about Indians? Are we talking about gypsies?
I'm not gonna.
What?
I'm not gonna go out and ask if they like.
Curry?
Yeah.
Well, why not? I mean, like, follow them around, see what they're buying, then get
Would
back.
you kill a cow?
I mean,
No,
they look.
honestly.
They're definitely Middle Eastern. I don't know where. Maybe they're Syrian. I don't know.
Indians don't look Middle Eastern.
Just go eat steak next to them. Like go to the Subway inside and come
Wait a
out with
minute.
like a steak and cheese sandwich and just see if they feel uncomfortable.
I've never thought an Indian looks Middle Eastern.
Well, Pakistani. That's a Middle Eastern person, right?
No,
I mean,
see, Indians
they're not
more
really Middle Eastern, no.
Indians more caramel, and Pakistani a little more leather brown. The color is a little different. I think.
Nah, Pakistanis and
Yeah,
Indians are the same.
Oh, they are. Wow, look at you.
The only difference between India and Pakistan is religion. They're otherwise the same race, basically.
Is it like the
I mean,
difference
they're
between
right.
Timberland and
They grew up
Timberwolf?
right next to each other.
Seemingly.
I don't know if you're trolling me.
Oh, wife likes the Indian accent, so calming. Let's play some clips from Apu from The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Played by
sure.
Hank Azaria, who at one point was going to quit doing it because he all of a sudden became woke, and then I think realized he would lose a ton of dough, and then decided he'd go back to being Apu.
Oh, I didn't know
No.
he changed his mind.
He went back? Are you sure?
I don't
Because
think
I heard
so. I
it
think
doesn't
The
seem like
Simpsons-
that long ago. I heard him saying how apologetic
Dude, it's
he
been
was.
years. I think.
And I think they discontinued the character, the writers, because
Yeah.
they're woke.
No,
My
Apu's
understanding is he
still
got
there.
taken out. What?
I don't think he is, dude.
Yeah,
Not that I ever
from what I,
watched The Simpsons.
brought it on.
From what I remember is that they stopped the voice acting parts, but he's still in there in like the background, but no voice acting parts. From what I remember, maybe it's.
Well,
Oh
he
no, I
does
think
other voices.
Oh yeah, he does a lot of other voices on there.
Oh no, I
that's
just mean the
bullshit.
Apu character.
Oh yeah, I think that guy's gone. I don't think you can get a Slurpee
He's
anymore on The
gone.
Simpsons.
Ready? Go on.
He was the
It's
best.
too bad. He was like one of the best characters. It's fucking.
He
it's
was.
lame.
He
He
was.
was great. He was, and I never thought it racist. I thought it was.
Of course, it wasn't
It
racist.
was hilarious.
It's almost American.
I mean,
right?
I think it's
American.
ridiculous. I think it's
His
ridiculous.
you needed his perspective as an immigrant on the funny things. You know, it was
Yeah.
just another perspective that was a valuable one for humor.
And he owned a stereotypical fucking quickie mart, which we all would think of as 7-Eleven or whatever you guys have. What do you have? Like, what's that real fancy one called?
Royal Farms.
Wow,
Wow.
Seven
Wawa.
What's the one in 8th?
Wawa. Who said it?
I said it.
Wawa.
Sheets.
Now Wawa. That's the gold standard, baby. It's got
What's the one,
stupid
Aphid Lip Circle?
and
Something that
history.
you have in your area?
7-Eleven, Circle K.
Yeah.
We got Circle
K. That's the one.
Yeah.
They're
Up
taking
here we
everything
got-
here.
Quick Trip. We got a lot of Quick Trips. Those are the
Ah,
nicer.
Quick Trip.
Those
We
are
got
nicer.
Have you
Good
guys ever heard of Tedeschi?
Mm-mm.
No.
Have you ever heard of Susan Tedeschi, the musician?
Mm.
I know Dolly Parton. I know her.
Well, she's
That's-
all right too. Big knock.
It's hard to miss.
Too big, actually.
All right. Yeah. Well. All right. Whoop, my.
I mean, is that possible, RW?
What?
It
Too
is.
big? Yes, there is.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you're just like, that's not.
I don't know. I don't
The-
think I would say Dolly is too big.
The skin is like so tight you can see through it.
I don't even know if
There's
that's
no
skinny.
movement, you know.
It might be grafted Teflon. I can't. I'm not sure. But hey, if that's your thing, man, then
I mean, Dolly's the real deal as a musician. So
yeah, I'm down with Jody.
grant her the props there.
Her, for my one date trip for 10 years with my wife, we went to we went next to Dollywood. We didn't go in the place, but we went around it to check it out.
Uh-huh.
And she's a big deal, man. She's a huge deal around there. She brought in so much money that it literally put that place on the map.
Where is that?
Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge. Okay.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Gatlinburg's close by. That's a beautiful part of the.
That's where we stayed. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that area.
The little mill. I mean, but the problem is, it took that beautiful Gatlinburg feel and just turned it into Vegas. Like it's like
yeah,
a
but I
Vegas
mean,
trip
the
now.
just like getting there, you're driving through the Smoky Mountains, and it's just
all
a
the trees.
beautiful.
And we went when they were turning orange. So that was
Yeah.
awesome.
So Dolly World is a real thing.
Dollywood, yeah, man,
yeah.
it's a huge deal. And there's all the stuff that came in around it from it being there. It's just it looks like a Vegas Strip almost.
Yeah.
What is Elvis's place?
Graceland.
Oh.
Isn't that just like a house though? It's not like a theme park, is it?
I've never been there, but I would
I've
imagine.
never been there, but
Don't know.
I think it's just a property.
Yeah.
How about Michael Jackson's place? It's a kids park, right?
I've been there.
You been there?
When you were
I'm just
when you were a kid.
I'm just kidding.
You were too old for him. Stop.
I want to be like Mike. Is a little bit different now.
Yeah, there's a whole conspiracy about Michael Jackson and that whole
Conspiracy?
thing. Well, the opposite of what you're thinking. That he was like, I've heard people saying he was like saving kids.
It's a conspiracy that he was doing.
Saving
something
them from
good.
virginity.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
exactly.
Oh,
Get out of here, dude! Get out!
He would have got away with it if he didn't get fingered by those two boys.
I wish I could give out a star.
You might be able to. I don't know.
You guys got to work on your.
Man, if YouTube don't
all the
ding
money
us,
we're
we're
giving this platform feed. We need to give out some more
doing
money.
well.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, we're practically visible here.
Well, there was, I think we can all agree there was something. There was a couple screws loose in Michael Jackson.
Definitely.
What gave that away?
Yeah, I mean, the guy was tapped, and
Very
I don't
talented,
understand
like
this conspiracy that I think am speaking of. He was basically supposedly like saving kids from this occult of incest or whatever in Hollywood. Not incest.
Scientologists?
No, more like I don't even know what the hell it was, but this fucking people that were taking kids and doing things with them, if you will.
The red shoes.
He was taking them and then like taking them to Neverland Ranch and like creating a
Escape
place
for
for them, an
A
escape.
refuge.
Yeah,
He protected them so much they would keep the kids in the bed with him.
Yep,
Not lose sight of them.
exactly.
And gave him Jesus juice.
I guess if you give people long enough, they'll come up with whatever. You know, it's probably one of those situations. People have imagined the scenario. I don't buy it. It's just something that's come around recently that I've heard about.
Well, Puff Daddy's the new Michael Jackson, so.
Oof.
And another thing, Puff Daddy, all kinds of shit's been invented about him that nobody can verify.
Right. I mean, I don't know what these allegations. I mean, I don't know how to judge them, so I may have no comment.
Right.
Is he locked up for anything right now?
No.
Didn't he? Is he the one that left the country?
Yeah, he did.
Where is he? He's just disappeared. Sort of like Biden. Where's Biden? Where's Puffy and Biden right now? I don't know.
Tying them both together.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Never
Not
seen
really.
them in the same room together.
A lot of smelling going on in there.
Sniffing. Oh, yeah. Tony Garrett says, with Jacko on Epstein's client list, surely they would release his name.
I doubt he was on Epstein's client list.
They haven't thrown one name
Definitely
out
a different taste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
They haven't thrown one name out.
Yeah, I never. Wife, there's apparently a documentary about Wacko Jacko and the kids that he did whatever he did to. Have you guys seen that?
No,
I've seen the one with the Indian reporter, the English Indian reporter, Martin Bashir, I think his name was. I saw that documentary, and it was disturbing, but I think it came out that Martin Bashir was kind of crooked himself, so I don't know what to think.
Yeah.
It's been like R. Kelly peeing on girls.
Speaking of adultery and all that good stuff, apparently Kamala's husband has announced that he officially impregnated the nanny.
What?
Yeah. He apparently is in the Doug house. I'll drop the back link here.
I knew this was going to be a bad joke.
Which one?
Yeah.
Doug house.
What? I'm so lost here now.
Was this all just a setup for the Doug house?
Sort of.
Man, we should time you out right now.
That's fine.
What happened?
Was it a pawn?
Yes.
I mean, that's literally the meme that they have where they're showing, like, he announced that he actually did the wrong thing in his marriage or whatever.
Ew.
I don't think that's going to affect anything with the vote, but
Are you saying he really did impregnate the nanny?
he did get the nanny pregnant.
That's the nanny? I wouldn't waste my marriage for that.
Well, on the left is before she was pregnant, and then on the right is what happens when women get pregnant sometimes.
What's the matter with these guys? Kamala's a good-looking woman. I don't know what the problem is.
Maybe she was too busy, so he needed.
Is that what it is?
I don't even know where to take that.
Is that what the level of being faithful to your wife is, if she's good looking or not?
Sometimes.
It's probably the laugh. It's probably the laugh. Let's be real.
I mean, what other excuse could there be?
He's a pervert.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like she was too busy.
Well, she's an idiot for leaving the nanny around him.
What? Do they have kids?
Yes.
Adopted
Kid.
or
They have kid. In that back chat link, there's a picture of the kid in the middle of I believe, in the middle of him and the girl with the little black tie.
Oh my God! And I thought it was
That's just his kid, though, right?
Wouldn't it be Kamala and his child?
I don't know. Does she have kids? I thought she didn't.
Oh, I don't know then.
I
don't know shit.
It says that she does not.
No
we're
kids.
good then. No problem.
As a daughter, maybe just by marriage or something. I don't know.
Well, it says he cheated on his first wife. Not a.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, good record.
Step kids, stepmother.
Good to
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Learning.
Yeah.
Everyone has a second chance. It's okay.
Well, I mean, Trump,
Exactly. It's not like you.
I think
that's why they're not.
What are we doing here?
Exactly.
We're just driving
How's that going to be an issue?
The Twitter.
All right, I gotta go, guys. Y'all have a wonderful week.
Oh, top.
Fair enough.
The week's not complete till I see your smiling face.
All right.
See you, pal.
See you guys.
Have a good week.
Great having you, Tom. Take care.
See you, man.
Good to see you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Did you give him a chance to leave on his own, or did you yeet him out of the chat?
I didn't do anything. I hovered my hand over the end stream thing, but
No.
we're still going. What do you guys
That,
think?
I want to stick around for a little while.
that margarita's hitting.
That was 20 minutes ago, boys.
Man, I've had like 3 nights of hitting it hard.
You're
So I'm
sticking
not-
around, buddy, because we haven't seen you for like 6 months.
You lucky you saw me tonight.
Just because you have a lot of time off, or like?
No, I had some friends from out of town, and it's been crazy.
That's cool.
How many hours in a row?
Fires,
72.
firecrackers?
No,
Did you
my buddy was like saying, he was like, "Man, this is the first time we've had a party over at your house, and there's been no explosions."
Yeah. And it's probably super. Or actually, what is your weather like over there? Are you getting tons? Like East Coast is wet for weeks now.
We've had our fair share of wet periods, but right now it was hot for a period, and then it was mild yesterday, which is when we had our party. So that was nice.
Is the rain going all the way up to you guys up there, Steve?
No, we've been beautiful day today. Yesterday we had to run out some fucking thunderstorms on the boat, but it was fine. We made it.
Take it easy, Tony Garrett. Thanks for stopping by. Come
It's
back
been
next
nice.
week.
And I guess on Riddle's side, are you guys getting rain out there, or are you guys drought?
Nah, it's more of a drought, I suppose. It's been hot, dry.
What's
humid.
the fire situation in Cali?
In my area, it's fine. I know we have them around here somewhere. I think the last one was by Chino or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Park fire? Is that still
I can't
going?
really see it from here, so it's not as bad as it was a couple years ago.
What's the deal with that dude that shoved the burning car? Like, did anything come about that? Like, why did he do that? Why did he shove a burning car down into a valley?
Oh, down a gulch? I don't know, man.
That was the park fire. That
Like,
started
was
the
it?
park
Yeah,
fire.
was he like what? Did he videotape it? Was he trying to get rid of the car? Is there any answer to why he did that?
Supposedly it broke and he got pissed. And he,
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to believe that story, right?
Oh,
I don't know what the real story was, but the claim is that he broke and he was beside himself with anger and he pushed it down.
So he was trying to collect the insurance off of it.
Well,
I gotta check breakers.
I would assume it's something like that.
I've been not a participant, but I was witnessed a car being destroyed for insurance purposes.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
you
was
got to make
pushed-
it seem
pushed-
like an act.
It was, yeah, exactly. It was pushed off of I wouldn't say a cliff. It was between some houses that there was enough room where you could flip. It was an MR2, the Toyota MR2. I don't know if you know what those are. Real small. So it was easy to push it off and flip it over, but it was for...
Well, the problem with that is that someone has to get injured to make it believable.
Well, I think he just didn't want to make the payments anymore, and he was a stupid kid at the time, so he thought that would be the best way to get out of the situation.
Asking for a friend? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, basically. It didn't end well for him.
Yeah,
and then the whole thing was videotaped on top of that, which there was some bitterness between the participant that videotaped it later on, because he thought it was cool at the time. Yeah, videotape us destroying this car, and then later he wanted ownership and destruction of said video.
Wait, who did we lose? We lost Smokesteve.
He was done. He was done.
Well, he was saying as much.
He was
man.
done.
So how did the destruction go? It went down the hill?
The car was destroyed. It was flipped over onto its
But
roof.
no fire?
No, there was no fire.
Make
It
a
was
good
like
sound? Good crunching sound?
It was some serious crunching. A little like it needed a little extra oomph to get over the ledge.
Oh, man. Too
Uh,
bad you can't. There's no way to
There he
destroy a
is.
car without getting in trouble.
Right. Well, don't set it on fire and put it into a gorge.
What could be
burns
more fun
down.
than that?
I heard that fire has been bigger than the city limits of Los Angeles. That's how much land it is
Oh
destroyed.
yeah, the park fire is enormous.
Oh, it's unbelievable that this moron did that.
But nobody knows what's going to happen. You know, he might have been thinking.
I
well,
know,
it
I understand.
It rained a lot in the winter. He probably thought, probably not so bad. But it
Just
doesn't take long at all for the drought.
A horrible decision on his part.
Yeah, the thing of it is, every acre is going to burn eventually, and every so often it's going to reburn.
Yeah,
because that's just the nature of California, that area of California. So whether he did it or now or someone else did it later or lightning did it, it sort of doesn't matter. It's all going to burn.
True, but I mean, I think prevention should be the.
I'm not trying to cut him. I'm talking more philosophically than I'm not actually going to be testifying in his defense at his trial.
Hey, it could have been a lightning strike.
If he did you guys a favor, he was a guy here in court instead of you.
Hey, just think of all the new growth you're going to have in that area.
Exactly. Yeah. There we go. I hope his lawyer's watching.
The thousands of houses that have been burned to the ground. They'll get rebuilt.
They'll get rebuilt.
All those memories up in smoke.
Well, yes, but I'm sure some new species were born out of it.
You got to always look at the bright side, I guess.
Yep.
What are you doing over there, Riddle? Looks like you're tracking 10 million things at once.
Yeah, you look like a controller.
It's just a couple of screens. I'm just trying to scroll over here on there. I'm actually trying to look at the park fire information.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A couple things. Hopefully, it doesn't look like they're giving much info though. That's kind of annoying. Said it was what's his name, Ron.
I go to the Blanco Lirio
anyways.
channel for all my information.
Yeah, there it is. Ronnie.
You always got. I just gotta point it out. You always gotta admire Smokesteve's willingness to hang on, and take it as far as humanly possible for him.
Right.
He can't even say one word in a coherent sentence, but he's still hanging on for the betterment of the show, and
he's hanging on to the ledge no matter how.
It's 100% respectful.
Hanging on.
Good for you, Smokesteve.
Thanks, buddy.
Outstanding. You might have more energy than all of us combined at this point.
His tolerance levels are to be admired.
They are stunning.
And not just drinking, but his consumptions of everything in nature is unbelievable.
Any single one of his consumptions would put me unconscious.
Right.
And he combines them all, and if he does poop out, it's because he wants to.
That's right. It's a
cheers to you, Smokesteve.
Absolutely.
Thanks, buddy.
You're a true champion.
I got it.
Peace on.
Pour a little bit more. I'm still working my way through the Glenlivet 14.
Very nice. It's a fine bottle.
What is that? Whiskey?
Scotch.
Scotch.
Whiskey. Single malt.
Was the California fire bigger than the Jasper fire?
I don't know what the Jasper fire is.
Jasper is Oregon.
Is that the one in Canada? Parks, Canada?
Oh, yeah. You're right. It's in Canada. That's right.
Let's see. Park fire is an active wildfire. Consumed 400,000 acres, or 627 square miles. 567 structures are destroyed.
Is this
ceremony.
is this happening right now?
It's still burning. Yes.
Yeah. Are they close to containing it, or is it still out of control?
It's 27% contained, so that's
Ooh,
not great.
That does not sound good. And I think is that the one that the firefighter lost his life recently?
Oh, I didn't hear about that. I don't think so.
Somebody lost their life in California.
It says no deaths.
Oh,
so far from the fire.
So it wasn't that one.
Last Dance, you want to keep this baby going?
I gotta be honest. Last Dance.
I'm
gonna
ready.
I'm gonna
Okay.
be cutting out of here soon.
Well, then I'm ready to give it up.
All right, everybody.
Well,
Thanks for hosting, Steve.
thank you, Smokesteve. It was a blast.
Good to see you guys.
Good conversation, Based.
Absolutely. Take it easy,
Based.
everybody.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Riddle. Come back again, please.
Oh, he's gone.
Wow, Smokesteve's killing them all.
Smokesteve. I'm gonna kill myself. See you guys.
Oh,
I'll let you work harder. I'll let you work harder to get rid of me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, what?
Oh, God.
No, fail.
Dear God.
Can't handle it. Too much work.
Everything has fallen apart. All right. Here we go. It was a fine show tonight. Thanks for being here, everybody. Wife, you're the best. Riddle, awesome. English Bottle Cap, thank you, buddy. All you guys who are on cam, you're the best. Let's just go forward in life and do good with our fellow human beings. And on that level, Smokesteve signing out. Love you all. Be peaceful and show love and understanding to your fellow human beings. Goodbye.